The scene opens on a desolate, ruined wasteland. A group of strangers stands amidst the rubble, cautiously introducing themselves. A blond man with a jagged scar across his face speaks first. Clutching the sword at his hip, he growls, "Name's Mo Man. Anyone have a clue where the hell we are?" Next is a middle-aged man with a buzz cut and a thick, scruffy beard. "I'm Lei, a carpenter from Adora. As for this place, I'm just as lost as you." Then, a panicked blonde man chimes in. "I'm Grease, from Henny's Antique Shop. I have no idea how I got here." A freckled girl with red hair nervously twirls her braids.
"Jenna, I lived in the forest. I don't understand what's happening." Finally, a handsome, dark-haired man with a cold gaze steps forward. This is our protagonist, Han Izhel. With an unreadable expression, he simply says, "Han, I'm just a farmer, and I'm in the dark too." The background extras begin to grumble, so not a single person knows why we're here. Is this some kind of sick dream? It's harvest season back home, another cries out. They struggle to grasp their new reality as panic begins to set in. Maybe a powerful mage summoned us. Someone whispers, "Are we just lab rats for some twisted experiment?" "Stop wasting breath on nonsense." Lai barks. He looks around grimly. "The only thing for certain is that we're all rookies here. We might find clues if we stick together and keep our eyes open." Suddenly, the air begins to shimmer with an eerie light. A spirit with glowing red eyes and long, purple braids descends. Dressed in a gothic black dress, she flashes a playful smile. "What are you all gossiping about?" she chirps. "The master is opening the space-time rift. You'd better get ready for a fight." The group stares in disbelief at the floating fairy. "Who are you?" they stammer. "Just call me Isora," she giggles. "I'm the manager here. Follow the rules if you value your lives." Moment steps forward, his brow furrowed in anger. "Are you the one who kidnapped us?" he demands. Isora tilts her head casually. "Why do you need to know that?" Moment draws his blade, his temper exploding. "You think you can just snatch people and stay silent? I'll beat the truth out of you." Isora sighs, bored. "Stop right there if you want to keep breathing." Moment sneers, "A tiny thing like you, big talk." Isora smirks. "Why must you make things so difficult?" Moment roars, raising his sword to strike the spirit. Before he can move, a flash of power slashes through his neck. Moment's head hits the ground before his body even follows. A system window flickers. 2-star hero Moment has returned to the goddess. His soul will be remembered, or not. Cause of death, suicide by sheer stupidity. Isora shrugs. "I told him to stop if he wanted to live." The survivors are paralyzed with pure terror. Their mouths hang open, eyes wide as they stare at the headless corpse. "If you just listen to me, these accidents won't happen," Isora says. Her eyes turning cold as she scans the crowd. "Anyone else want to attack me? Go ahead. I'll send you straight to the afterlife. It's just self-defense, right?" The shock wears off, replaced by screams. "He's dead. He's actually dead. What kind of monster are you?" Isora ignores their cries. "Listen closely. My only command is for you to fight and win. It's that simple." A notification rings out. Team formation in progress. Hero matchmaking initiated. The air grows heavy with mana. 1-star heroes Lai, Leno, Marilyn, Cacus, and Jackson have joined the party. The game is finally afoot. Isora beams. "Finally, the master is starting the game. Everyone, get ready." A massive rift tears open behind her. A mysterious, heavy door slowly creaks open, revealing a blinding light. The group shrinks back in fear and hesitation. Isora calls out the names. "Go through that door unless you want to end up like Moment." Han suddenly steps forward. "Wait," Han says firmly. Isora glares. "You again. What now?" Han stares back with ice-cold eyes. "You want us to climb the tower, right? At least give us weapons. We're all 1-stars with nothing but our bare hands. You don't want to send a suicide squad in there, do you?" Jenna listens, confused. "The tower? What is he talking about?" Han continues. "Our only 2-star is dead. Give us something to defend ourselves with, or this game ends early." Isora glances at Moment's remains. That loudmouth was the only 2-star. She pauses, realizing Han makes a fair point. She taps a virtual keyboard, sending a request to the master. "Fine. I'll get you some basic gear so you can at least struggle." The system responds. "Heroes without gear will receive a default old wooden sword. If you have an armory, equip them now. Your own weapons too." The group rushes toward Han, their faces pale and desperate. "Han, right? How do you know so much about this place?" They look at him like he's their only lifeline. Han frowns. "I don't know much more than you. I just haven't been here very long." Jenna's heart races. Not long. What does that mean? She wonders. Han adds, "The only thing I know is that hesitation equals death. We need to scavenge weapons from that house over there. Now, He points to a nearby shack. The nightmare was just beginning. What do you mean it's starting? Han muttered, hands in pockets as he walked into the warehouse. A battle, here. The others panicked. I was a total amateur who had never even thrown a punch. Chaos erupted as they scrambled for gear. Get back. The sword is mine. They screamed in desperation. Armed with spears and rusted blades, they froze. The bloodstains on the floor had vanished completely. Shut up and move, the guide hissed, pointing toward the glowing portal. Your time is running out. 5 men trembled before the blue barrier. As one touched it, he recoiled as if struck by lightning. What is this madness? Ryo screamed. Meanwhile, Han remained eerily calm, methodically checking his shield. Jenna watched him, her heart racing. Why was he so composed? Should she be preparing like him? You know what's coming, don't you? She whispered. What is this place? What is that creature? Han's eyes remained cold. Just focus on killing. Find your own answers if you survive the slaughter. Suddenly, a notification flared. 1-star hero Marilyn has fallen. The first soul had been claimed. Han cursed under his breath. Jenna saw his grim face, but couldn't see the system screen itself. The alerts kept screaming. Team 1 was being massacred. Is this all 1-stars are worth? Han muttered. What happened? Tell me, Jenna pressed. Han snapped back. Keep your mouth shut and stay focused. Team 1 annihilated. Han's heart sank. Wiped out in seconds. This was a literal death trap. The guide spat in disgust. Useless animals, dead on floor 1. She turned to the second group. It's our turn, Han signaled. Jenna hesitated, noticing that not a single person had returned. An old man fell to his knees. Please, my arthritis is acting up. Let me go home. Jenna stared, unimpressed. You were running fine a second ago. The coward just wailed louder. Han ignored the drama and marched forward. Jenna grabbed the old man's collar. We moved together. They approached the barrier, clutching their weapons with trembling hands. The air felt heavy with death. Good luck, trash, the guide mocked. The old man cried out, claiming his stomach was now failing. They crossed the threshold into a dark, eerie temple. A suffocating silence hung over the stone ruins. Writing appeared on the walls. Main dungeon, floor 1. The Tower of Salvation had officially opened. Don't lose focus, Han roared. A blinding light engulfed them, warping the very fabric of reality. The scene shifted to a vast, golden meadow at sunset. It looked peaceful, but the danger was real. The mission was clear. Exterminate all enemies. 3 hideous, high-level goblins emerged from the shadows. Listen up, Han warned. Kill or be killed. But the men behind him were already breaking. They threw down their weapons and bolted like frightened rabbits. Han's blood boiled at their cowardice. You cowards, Jenna screamed. What happened to your arthritis, you lying old man? A system warning flashed. Team panic detected. All stats have been reduced by 40%. The runners slammed into an invisible wall, clawing at the air. Let us out. We'll do anything. It was a pathetic display. Han ignored their screams, his eyes locked on the approaching monsters. Jenna took a deep breath, finding her nerve. If we slay these things, can we escape? Han didn't look back. Can you shoot? Jenna nodded. My father was a hunter. I'm ready. I'll hold the front. You provide the cover. Jenna's eyes sharpened. Let's show them what we've got. The goblins howled, charging with bloodlust. Jenna drew her bow. Here they come. Brace yourself. Han braced his shield. He wasn't just Han Ilas, he was a player in a game of death. Astur's clang. Astur's the first strike hit hard. The desperate struggle for survival had finally, truly begun. Han ignored her, dropping into a combat stance. Jenna, can you use a bow? My father was a hunter, she replied. Han laid out the strategy. I will take them head on. You provide cover from the rear. Can you do it, Jenna? Ready when you are, she fired back. Han looked at the others coldly. Ignore those men. They are just useless cowards. The monsters roared, charging forward. Jenna drew her bow. They're coming. Han stared them down, his mind racing. Honestly, I have never held a sword or shield before. My name is Han Ilas, but in reality, I am Han Selen. It seems I am trapped in a twisted death game. A demon lunged, its blade clashing violently against Han's shield. An arrow pierces the darkness. To understand why our hero was pulled into this hell, we must go back. This is Pick Me Up, a mobile game released by the infamous Mobius Group. Your mission, conquer a 100-floor tower by gathering resources and building an impenetrable base. It requires pure strategy. Just yesterday, Han Sejin was living a perfectly ordinary, peaceful life. Relaxing in bed, he checked the latest event. Finally, this trash game adds a decent new dungeon. Heroes rank from 1 to 7 stars. Sejin is cursed with terrible luck, never pulling anything above 5 stars. This dungeon drops the rare fate scroll, the key to crafting a legendary 7-star hero. He had to join. Pick Me Up is brutal compared to other gacha games. It follows one ruthless rule. No matter how much you love a character, death is permanent. Whether they are 1-star or 6-star, once they die, they are gone forever. Total elimination. He sends in a disposable fodder team to scout first. Suddenly, a notification flashes on his screen. The new dungeon is open. A crimson warning light blazes across the interface. All members of Party 38 are paralyzed by fear. Their stats plummet by 30%. The hero Diora begs to retreat, but Seijin ignores her. He only cares about the boss. A shadowy figure emerges from the dark. With a single flick, it executes his character. Level 999. Is this a system bug? The screen flashes a cold game over. The team was wiped out before he could even see a pattern. Seijin touches the monster's icon in frustration. Suddenly, the beast looks up, baring its jagged teeth in a terrifying grin. I see you. Seijin freezes. Is this part of the game? A blinding light suddenly consumes his entire world. Darkness falls. Then, character creation prompts begin to hover in the void before him. The system selects a name and confirms the account automatically. What is happening? He can't stop it. His mind races as the screen clicks agree on its own. The light returns, flooding his vision. A narration appears, a small village in the 𝐒 territory, home to a boy named 𝐻-𝐸. A land where humans and non-humans lived in peace, until a mysterious enemy invaded their world. Master, if you wish to save this world, climb the tower. Heroes will fight by your side. Han stands frozen, a sword in his hand as he watches the city drown in a sea of flames. Is this a nightmare? A low growl echoes from behind him. He spins around. A quest window pops up. Defeat the goblins invading the village. A monster lunges forward for combat. There is no time to doubt. The goblin closes the distance, swinging its blade at Han's head. Instinct takes over as he raises his sword to block. The impact is heavy. This is too real. Metal clashes against metal, sending sparks flying. Han shoves the creature back and delivers a fatal strike. Fresh blood splatters across the ground. He has to kill to survive, but the sensation is sickening. System, stage cleared. Level up, rewards are being sent to your mailbox immediately. Wiping blood from his face, he looks around. Is he actually trapped inside the game? This is the world of pick-me-up. The tutorial windows continue to haunt him. Master, summon an ally before the next stage. Tap the summon tab in your menu. First time special bonus. 500 gems granted for a premium high-level summon. Han screams for answers, but a blinding gateway opens. A female knight in full plate armor emerges. It is the super rare 5-star hero, Sei. Han realizes the truth. He was summoned just like her. He is just another unit for a player. Sei opens her eyes. I have been summoned. Who are you? Han stammers his name. Sei looks at him coldly. Han Seijin. What a strange name. They are now a team. A player named Water deploys them back into the dungeon. Sei carves through enemies effortlessly. Are you a rookie? You don't look like a warrior. Han grits his teeth. While he struggles, the 4-star Sei slaughters 5 goblins in a heartbeat. The gap in power is absolute. A 3-star difference is a wall he cannot climb. The massive gates creaked open once more. The heroes had survived the bloodbath. Now, the final trial began. The path to absolute power lay in synthesis. A single touch would forge a legend. Han gritted his teeth in pure dread. Move it. The fairy Yo snapped. The master is waiting. Han stared blankly. Yo, right? She froze. How do you know my name? What are you? Han smirked internally. He played pick-me-up for years. Me? He replied coolly. Yo checked her records. Her face pale. Han Seijin. No, this isn't 𝐻-𝐸. I'm Han Seijin from Seoul. He barked. Now send me back before I lose my mind. Yo trembled. You're from Earth. Where else? Han retorted. Mars. Yo's scream echoed. I summoned the wrong one. How could I screw up this badly? Han panicked. I'm not going in there. I'll die. You won't die. Yo growled. You're just being synthesized. With a sharp kick, she sent him flying inside. The doors slammed shut. Silence filled the room. Suddenly, a chilling blue aura enveloped him. The synthesis had begun. Terror gripped his soul. He knew exactly what this meant. In this game, power required a sacrifice. Two heroes enter, but only one remains. One becomes the fuel for the other's evolution. Destruction was certain for the weak. Han was a mere 1-star hero. Sid was a 4-star elite. No sane player would sacrifice a 4-star for trash. Han braced for his own erasure. Is this it? He thought. Who would be stupid enough to waste a 4-star on me? The light faded. Han gasped. I'm alive. Sid was the one dissolving into stardust. Why? He shouted. You're the elite. I'm just a useless 1-star. Sid smiled sadly. I wasn't chosen, that's all. The rest is up to you, Han. Reality hit like a brick. Gris was impaled by a goblin's blade. Stay focused, Han roared. Jenna screamed at the panicking crowd. Fight back, damn it. The monsters are coming. Han fought, his mind racing. Synthesis is just drag and drop. The master must have slipped. A fatal error by the player. A clumsy hand or pure idiocy. That was his only salvation. What a garbage game, he spat, to die because of a stupid mistake. How pathetic. Han turned to Jenna, Timur left. I'll take one, she yelled back. Just focus on, a goblin lunged. Pain exploded as its blade tore through his arm. Han's eyes flared crimson. He gritted his teeth and swung his shield. The monster's skull shattered. I don't care why I'm here. I am Han 𝐶, a 1-star hero, and I will survive. He remembered that level 999 glitch. That monster. She dragged him into this hell. You picked the wrong person. Han unleashed his fury. With one strike, the beast was silenced. He collapsed, gasping for air. Jenna rushed over, panicking. Your arm, it's gone. It'll heal when we return, Han wheezed. In this world, we're just puppets for the players. 100 million gods watching us. They see this nightmare as mere entertainment. Han looked at the stars and smirked. He was once Loki, 5th in the entire world. He loved the tactics, the mystery. Even if the game was trash, he never quit. Watch me, Master of Masters. Loki is going to survive until the very end. The system chimed. Victory, 2,000 gold, iron, and stone. MVP, Han 𝐶. Back at the base, Han pushed his body to the limit. He couldn't afford to be weak. Stop whining like a child, he told himself. This is Pick Me Up, my new reality. To death's a way to hero, the battlefield, or the synthesis chamber. 1-stars are nothing but trash. Low stats, zero potential. Mere disposable tools. The threat of being sacrificed loomed over him. He had to transcend his limits. I'll get stronger. I'll get my revenge. And then, I'm going home. I must grow stronger to survive and seek vengeance. Without power, my goals are nothing but a pipe dream. How will this unfold? If I don't adapt now, death is certain. To survive, I must evolve. This nightmare mirrors my hellish military service. Mere physical strength won't be enough to endure this. I need ironclad mental fortitude. Survival is impossible if I lose my inner peace and calm. Learn to stand alone while you're young. Even without parents or allies, you must find a way. Han grinds through grueling push-ups, sweat pooling beneath him as he recalls his past struggles. Jenna approaches. What are you doing? She asks. Han's voice is ice cold. Training to kill monsters. Are you blind? Jenna bristles. Why so rude? I came a long way to find you. Then her gaze hardens. I spent all night thinking. We can't escape this place, can we? She grips her bow tight. My father was a hunter, so I grew up with the bow. I won't be a burden. Crying won't change our fate. Her arrow flies true, piercing the target's head with lethal, silent precision. You know how to live here, right? Han doesn't answer, asking if yesterday was her first kill. I was just a shut-in, she admits. Han narrows his eyes, checking her glowing status window. Her stats jumped by 4 in a single day. Though her potential is low, she possesses a core skill. Even as a clumsy 1-star, she took down a goblin. Her resolve to live is her greatest weapon. She has a clear goal and refuses to die. A diamond in the rough, Han thinks, impressed. Fine. I'll help you, Han says. Jenna beams, reaching out her hand with a hopeful smile. My father said to follow the strong to survive. Han reaches out, sealing their desperate pact. System. 1-star Jenna now has favorable intent toward Han. Friendship has been established between heroes. Party reward unlocked. Bonuses granted when moving as a team. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿, are you here? Han calls out. The spirit 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 manifests, looking utterly annoyed. Han smirks. For someone busy, you showed up fast. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 fumes. Ask all you want, I won't answer. If you're curious, climb the tower for the truth. Han ignores her outburst. Am I the only one who can see your status window, 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿? 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 freezes, her face turning pale as she tries to play dumb. I don't know anything. Level to 157. It's written clearly. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 stammers. Has your existence been upgraded? She stops herself before saying too much. Han realizes he's the only one seeing these game messages. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿. What happens if the master quits the game? He watches her reaction with sharp, calculating eyes. The master, she whispers. We just pray they never leave. Han recalls the horrific hero fusion accident. A 4-star and a 1-star merged. It was no accident. A rare 1% miracle ruined by error. The Pick Me Up app is linked to their phones. Once started, there is no reset button. A week has passed since the last login. Is time here different from Earth? Han presses further. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 screams, stop asking. I'm not a manual, Han laughs. So the time flow is different. Thanks. Next time, give me even more tips. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 pulls her hair in rage. You arrogant 1-star trash. Han knows spirits can't touch heroes unless they rebel. He's mastering the rules to survive this hell. In this world, knowledge is the only law. Jenna watches them, completely lost and confused. What are you talking about? She asks. Han replies, we're raiding to the tower's 100th floor. The master issues orders through 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿. We follow them and conquer missions to finally go home. Jenna pales. So we have to keep fighting monsters. Han nods. That's why we must become stronger. Jenna worries if 2 of them are enough. Han explains the master can summon more of them. Our choices decide our fate, but ultimately, we are at the mercy of the master's whim. After a day of training, Han discovers a new rule. Essentials and food respawn every single morning. Whatever he desires appears in his closet the next day. The system provides for its favorite units. The master can spend gold to summon others like us. They plan to bring in many more survivors. Our choices here will carve our path, but ultimately, our lives rest in the hands of the master's whims. After a day of training, Han discovered a rule. Food and essentials magically replenished by the following morning. Whatever Han desired would manifest inside the wardrobe the next day. A strange perk of this nightmare world. Forget conventional firearms. In this world, the fruits of training follow a completely different set of rules. Han finally realized why heroes of the same rank possess such vastly different levels of combat power. Most heroes are far too lazy. True training doesn't just inflate levels. It sharpens skills and accelerates recovery. Han realized his mistake. These aren't just mindless programs. They are far more than simple artificial intelligence. Masters categorize heroes into 3 types. First, they instantly discard anyone prone to paralyzing bouts of panic. Second is skill. High-rank heroes possess many, while low ranks hide latent potential that masters must uncover. Third is physical conditioning. This is Han's current path as he executes his grueling fitness regime. 3 days of intense training passed. Suddenly, the master controlling Han logged back into the game. Han clenched his fist, having gained new skills. He urged Jenna to prepare for the master's arrival. Jenna froze in shock. The master was back already. Time had vanished in a blur of sweat. Han checked the system alerts. The master was summoning new heroes to fill a 5-man squad. 3 summons commenced. 3 1-star heroes appeared, blinking in utter confusion at their terrifying new reality. Lost and terrified, the recruits trembled. Jenna shouted for them to arm themselves for the coming slaughter. A brown-haired man barked questions. Suddenly, the guide appeared as the spatial rift tore open before them. The gateway opened. Han commanded Jenna to grab her gear before their limited time ran out. She chose a sword and shield. Han lamented that previous heroes had taken all the good gear to their graves. The newbies swarmed the guide, demanding to go home. They had no idea the nightmare they had entered. Jenna tried to intervene, but the brown-haired man roared, accusing them of being part of the kidnapping. Jenna desperately explained her own plight. Han watched coldly, knowing the harsh truth would soon dawn on them. Han signaled Jenna to follow. Experience told him these fools would only learn through the threat of death. The recruits wailed about their lives. One was a farmer, another a family man, all begging for mercy. The guide's patience snapped. Dealing with every new batch of pathetic souls was becoming a soul-draining chore. She screamed at them to enter the rift. Jenna's heart sank, fearing the newcomers wouldn't survive the wave. Han remained indifferent. As long as they didn't provoke the guide, they might live. Then, she struck them. With a cheerful wave, the guide shoved the heroes through the closing portal toward their destiny. Floor 2 waited. The objective was simple: annihilate every enemy. Han and Jenna drew their steel. Goblins emerged from the shadows. While the veterans braced themselves, the new recruits stood frozen in fear. Ferocious wolves joined the fray. The men turned pale as a 30% stat penalty hit them. Even Jenna trembled under the weight of fear. Han reached out, touching her shoulder to break the spell. Jenna gasped, her focus returning. Han barked orders: she would take the goblins, he would handle the wolves. The system cleared her panic status. Han realized her mental fortitude was far superior to the others. As the wolves lunged, Han knew the newbies were dead weight. They wouldn't lift a finger to help. To beasts charged with murderous intent, Han roared a warning as the wolves entered the kill zone. A wolf lunged with bared fangs. Han's blade pierced its skull, yet the creature continued to struggle. Cursing his low-tier weapon, Han swung again. A devastating strike split the wolf in two, ending it. The second wolf pounced. Han's shield caught the impact, and he sent the beast reeling with a bash. Without a moment's hesitation, he cut the second wolf down. Exhaustion began to take its heavy toll. He turned to find the goblins. They were pinned to the earth like pincushions, bristling with arrows. Han praised his comrade's lethal precision. She had truly evolved into a master of the bow. Jenna stood panting, her bow still raised. Han gently told her to stop. The enemies were all dead. Victory. They earned 5,000 gold and rare materials. A divine blue light enveloped the survivors. They warped back, only for the system to announce their immediate progression to floor 3. The earth shook violently. Jenna panicked, but Han remained calm, recognizing the shift in their reality. Han glanced at the trembling men. A reckless master would always push his luck until everything burned. Han glanced at the 3 men behind him. If the master is reckless, he will push us straight to floor 3. With that settled, what awaits them on the 3rd floor? Luckily, the master is logged out. Han exhales in relief. Finally, a break. Jenna grumbles that they are the ones suffering. Time here moves at 1/3 speed. The master will likely return in 3 days. Weapons stored. Status check. Intelligence down 1, but strength is up by 2 points. His level is rising steadily. Physicality is improving. Stagnation in this tower means certain death. Outside, chaos erupts. 3 cowards harass Jenna, refusing to accept their brutal new reality. Jenna preaches survival, but the men shout back. They have never even held a blade. Han watches silently. 1-star trash. Momin was a mercenary, he had the soul of a warrior. Experience defines rank. Veterans charge forward, while these 1-star weaklings simply lose their minds. Do they even understand their purpose? Jenna begs Han for help with the troublesome trio. Jenna wants unity, but Han knows the truth. These useless anchors will soon disappear forever. They won't last. Han ignores them, focusing only on the bloodbath awaiting in the next battle. A fool stops Han. Conflict ignites instantly. 1 punch sends the arrogant coward flying back. Han loathes their laziness. While he bleeds on the front lines, they do nothing but whine. Terror strikes the men. Han walks away, telling Jenna he handled it just like she wanted. Training resumes at dawn. Steel is forged in heat. Bow and sword practice begins again. Sword mastery reaches level 2. The cowards waste time searching for an exit that doesn't exist. Arrows fly as Han sharpens his reflexes. Suddenly, a stray shot pierces his thigh. Jenna panics, but Han remains cold. In this world, flesh mends at an impossible speed. Pain resistance unlocked. The grind never stops. To Han, pain is the only proof of life. Relentless, hellish practice. Jenna nears her limit, but Han's iron resolve pushes them both forward. A new awakening. Sword and shield arts merge into one. Suddenly, the master logs back in. Isil screams for order. The plaza beckons. Jenna smiles, her blood finally beginning to boil. Jenna's growth is staggering. Meanwhile, the 3 fools still dare to protest against the fight. Tired of potatoes, to bat, Isil delivers a brutal, bone-breaking lesson in absolute discipline. Beaten and broken, they finally obey. Floor 3 awaits. The mission is simple, total annihilation. Goblins in iron armor appear. Han readies his steel. The real war starts right now. Han swung his wooden sword as Jenna practiced. His swordsmanship hit level 2. The cowards only searched for exits. Finding no escape, they loitered while Jenna trained. Han focused entirely on his reflexes, dodging invisible strikes. Suddenly, an arrow pierced Han's thigh. He winced in pain. Jenna panicked. "Are you okay?" Han bit his lip. He yanked the arrow out. "Do not worry about me." Instantly, a shimmering green light healed his torn flesh. Forget the laws of your world. Here, wounds vanish in seconds. The logic of this place is absolute. A system alert flashed. Pain resistance acquired. Han stood up, sword in hand, again. We continue the training. He would not stop. Pain was the only proof he was still alive. They resumed their frantic, hellish practice. Jenna collapsed from exhaustion, but Han refused to let up. Their blood and sweat finally bore fruit. The system chimed. Han had awakened a new skill. Basic swordsmanship and shield arts merged into a singular power. Days later, the master logged in. Isabel screamed in frustration, "To the square now. Or do you want a beating?" Jenna smirked, loosening her muscles. "Perfect. I was starting to get antsy just sitting around training all day." Han watched her. "How are you learning faster than me?" She laughed. "I guess I just have a natural talent." The 3 men grumbled, refusing to move. "Let us go. We are sick of potatoes. We won't fight anymore." Isabel reached her limit with these fools. She decided it was time to show them the true meaning of fear. "I am in a foul mood. Do not make me force an apology out of your corpses," she barked. She thrashed them until they obeyed. Bruised and terrified, they finally marched toward floor 3. The mission, total annihilation. The goblins on this floor were different, now equipped with heavy iron armor and helmets. Han analyzed their tactics. These enemies are dangerous, but they cannot defend themselves while chanting their spells. They are evolving. Stand your ground and fight. Han and Jenna charged, unleashing a storm of steel and blood. Floor 3 was a breeze. Jenna earned MVP, securing 7,000 gold and rare rank C crafting materials. Wiping blood away, Jenna felt her heart harden. Han sighed, already bored by the repetitive slaughter. The cowards remained frozen. Han didn't care. He wouldn't share a single drop of experience with dead weight. No combat means 0 rewards. Suddenly, a system alert flashed. The master was losing patience with the slackers. A lucky spin for disobedient pawns. Han watched the screen. The master was preparing a harsh lesson. Jenna hoped for an end, but the nightmare reset. Back to floor 1. The endless grind continued. Perhaps the master wasn't heartless, just demanding. Goblins fell like wheat before Jenna's blade once more. Another MVP win for Jenna. Yet, the master reset the floor again. Han sensed a darker purpose. No rest for the weary. Han knew speed was survival, and dove head first back into the fray. Hours bled into an exhausting loop. Jenna slumped, drained. Is there no escape from this cycle? Han sat among the fallen. Jenna snapped. furious at having to babysit the useless bastards any longer. Don't worry, Han muttered. It ends today. Jenna stared, confused by the grim shadow in his eyes. The master won't keep trash forever. Suddenly, a massive structure materialized. The reckoning had arrived. System alert, hero synthesis initiated. The cowards trembled, unaware they were now just raw resources. The guide to synthesis appeared. Han glared at the weaklings. Farewell, you who wasted your only chance. Gates swung wide. Han saw opportunity everywhere. The master's eyes were always watching from above. Behind the screen, every act of cowardice was recorded. The master knew who bled and who hid. Favoritism was earned. Han and Jenna were marked, while the others were mere fuel for the furnace. Jenna and Jensen to the synthesis room. The order was absolute. Jenna froze in sudden terror. Go, Han whispered calmly. Jensen paled, sensing the icy breath of death on his neck. What happens in there? Jensen shrieked. I didn't ask for this. This isn't fair. Han's gaze was lethal. Just go inside and shut up. Even the others felt the chilling necessity. Jensen begged for mercy. Han only scoffed. If you'd swung a sword once, you might have lived. I'm sick of your whining, Yi-Dong growled, shoving him forward. The heavy doors slammed shut forever. Synthesis began. Jensen's screams were cut short as his soul was dissolved into raw power. Jenna emerged with the eagle eye skill. He is just gone, isn't he? She whispered in shock. This is a world of shadows, Han explained. The useless die so the strong may ascend. Next, Han and Toby. Iso's command was cold. The sacrifice had already been chosen. Toby followed like a lamb to slaughter. The doors sealed them in a room of suffocating silence. Toby broke, screaming about going home. Han didn't have the heart to tell him the truth. Sure, think that. A scream erupted and Toby vanished into blinding light. Synthesis was complete. Han stepped out, imbued with calmness. He brushed past the trembling blonde, a living warning. You're lucky, Han noted. Aaron stood frozen, drenched in the sweat of a broken man. Jenna trembled. If I become useless, will I be melted down too? The weight was crushing. We have two choices, Han stated, die by the sword, or be offered as a sacrifice. The monsters will only get deadlier. In this hell, power is the only currency for survival. If you want to live, cling to the strong. Han's advice was the only mercy left. At dawn, Jenna bowed low. Please, let me stay by your side. Teach me to survive. Han saw the fire in her eyes. She finally understood the price of weakness here. Work hard, and you won't have to fear the light. Suddenly, Aaron approached, pride shattered. Please, take me with you, Aaron pleaded. I was a fool, a coward, but I'll fight. He confessed his sins, admitting he was pathetic for letting them bleed alone. He begged redemption. Han's eyes were cold stones. Trust is earned with blood. Why should I believe you? I'll crawl. I'll kneel, just give me a chance, Aaron cried, desperate for a way out. Finally, Han's conviction took hold. Tossing a weapon to Aaron, he asked a chilling question. Have you ever faced a real monster? Before this, I never fought a single beast myself. Aaron gasped. But you're so skilled. Han replied coldly, it's all about your resolve to survive. Take the spear. It's the simplest tool for a novice. You grasp the fundamentals of range. Jenna chimed in, swords for close range, spears for mid, and bows for the distance, right? Correct, Han noted. For a three-man squad, this formation is our best shot at survival. Han suddenly dropped into a combat stance. What are you doing? Brace yourself. The trial begins. Aaron panicked. Aren't you teaching me? Han charged, eyes glowing with lethal intent. I'm no teacher. I carved my path through blood and sweat. You'll learn the same way. Han unleashed a relentless flurry. Aaron struggled to parry. Be grateful for a living opponent. I only had wooden scarecrows to train with. Desperate, Aaron roared and swung blindly. Han spun, delivering a devastating kick right to his gut. Closing your eyes in battle. Han's voice was freezing. Aaron collapsed, retching from the sheer impact. I haven't even threatened your life yet. If I were a beast, you'd be a corpse already. Jenna trembled. Isn't this too much for his first time? Han frowned, his gaze sharp and unforgiving. I won't carry dead weight. Keep up or be left behind. Have a family, Aaron. My sister, she's waiting. Aaron shivered. Han's tone softened slightly. At least you have someone. I have no one. He pressed wood against Aaron's throat. Imagine the agony of a monster's teeth. If you can't handle this, quit. Aaron gritted his teeth, refusing to break. Han smirked. There it is. That's the look of a survivor. Training concluded. The master spent 500 gems on a blacksmith. Han approached the new facility, curious. The forge is open. Hey, Io. Stop hiding and come out. The spirit appeared, grumbling in annoyance. Han ignored her complaints. Fix that attitude. It's getting old. Io fumed, wanting to strike the arrogant human. Han didn't blink. You sent those tips to the master, didn't you? Can you access the external networks? If you can interfere with the system, surely you can surf the web. Io smirked. Indeed, I do. My hobby is browsing human forums. Those tips were the foundation for unlocking the training grounds and forge. Io froze in shock. How do you know that? Han leaned against the wall with cool confidence. That strategy was legendary on Pig and Cup. Didn't you see Loki's post? Io gasped. You know the great Loki. Of course. I'm a user there too. Io scoffed, her nose in the air. A bottom feeder like you? Lord Loki is a master of masters, a literal god of war. If 7-star heroes existed, he'd rule them. Han smiled. Why do you admire him? Because he makes the impossible possible. Io gushed like a fangirl. The impossible, huh? Han teased. Io sneered, casual like you wouldn't understand. Lord Loki is. As Io rambled about her idol, Han interrupted. Sorry to break it to you. Io blinked, confused. Han's lips curled into a smirk. I am Loki. Io stared, then burst into mocking laughter. Nice try. Who would believe that? Han simply recited a private account number for 663199913. Only the owner and the server know this code. Verify it yourself if you're so skeptical. Want the password too? Io summoned her terminal, fingers flying across the keys. There's no way, Loki, in this place. It's impossible. The results loaded. Io froze, her face turning pale. It was true. Suddenly, she thrust a pen and paper forward. An autograph, please, with this. I'll finally become a VIP member of Ranya Loki. Han blinked, confused by her sudden shift. Ranya Loki, what's that? The ultimate fan club, Io squealed. Only the elite can join. But I need your signature. Han was baffled. I didn't even know that existed. Io's excitement died as a terrifying thought struck her. Wait, if you're Loki, then all those secrets I told you. Han shrugged, signing the paper. I'm only a 1-star now, so who cares? Io shrieked. But what about Niflheim? What happens without you? Niflheim, the massive waiting zone in Han's account. 13 floors with a capacity of 20,000 high-level players. Every facility there was top tier, designed for level 1800 elites. But none of that mattered here. The real master was trapped in this hellscape. Io panicked. What about those 20,000 people? Han folded his arms, indifferent. If you're so worried, just send me back. Io slumped in defeat. I see through it all. You're just a low-level manager running errands. Tell me, is this waiting room's master from Earth? And these summoned heroes, they aren't just mere AI, are they? Isabel's silence confirmed the chilling truth. So this linked world is real. Every single hero is a living soul. Han realized the master had no idea. To the master, this was just a game called Pick Me Up. He was playing with real lives for mere entertainment. Heroes bleed and die just for their amusement. Han turned to Isabel. Can I truly return home after floor 100? Isabel broke into a cold sweat, unable to answer. Han sighed in frustration. Fine. Next question then. Who brought me to this hell again? She hesitated. I can't say. Her helplessness was pathetic. Standing before her idol, the one surrogate manager was now completely submissive. The usual shouting was gone. Never mind. I'll find the truth as I climb. Han shifted focus. As the admin, what exactly can you access? I manage the facilities and guide the master's actions, she explained. I control the basic functions of this realm. Are all waiting rooms identical? She nodded. Minor differences exist, but the core structure remains the same across all worlds. Han pondered the scale. 100 million worlds. Was the Mobius system truly pulling people from countless realities? The quantum AI label was a blatant lie. These weren't generated templates, they were stolen lives. These digital heroes were flesh and blood. The dungeons, the content. It was all built upon existing worlds. If every game stage was a real world, then every reckless move by a player meant a real death. Han's stomach churned. Every game over was a massacre. Listen carefully, he told Isabel, if you want to survive this tower. She nodded frantically, clinging to his words. Meanwhile, the training grounds were ablaze with intense activity. Jenna was pushing her limits. Her talent was frightening. Her growth rate defied all logic and common sense. Even with daggers, she mastered them instantly. But Aaron, he was lagging behind. At this rate, death was inevitable. I'm going easy on him, Han, Jenna chirped, but I think he's still hitting his limit quite early. Drop the ego and follow me, Han barked. Jenna blinked. What's up? No training for your favorite subordinate today? Suddenly, Isabel manifested. Who do you think you are? I'm Han's #1 subordinate, you brat. Jenna snapped back instantly. In your dreams. I'm his right hand. Sparks flew as the two glared each other down. You fox. Do you even know who he is? He's Master Lo. Han clamped his hand over her mouth immediately. Shut it, Han hissed. But Isabel kept muffled, screaming her loyalty, desperate to claim her spot by his side. Han sighed. Revealing his Loki identity was a mistake. Jenna watched, confused. What's wrong with her? Is she broken? Just ignore the idiot, Han muttered. They reached the warehouse. You have the authority, right? Open this door. Isabel obeyed instantly. Han entered, grabbing 6 iron ores, 3 hides, and for wooden planks from the dusty shelves. Now, activate the forge, Han commanded. Isabel chirped a yes, sir. Jenna watched curiously. What's the plan, Han? You can't use that rusty scrap forever. Han had realized he was a hybrid half-master, half-hero. This unique status allowed him to bypass system limits. Isabel watched him, puzzled. Loki, what are you trying to build? The system flashed a warning, success rate abysmal. No blacksmith, no blueprints, and pathetic facilities. But Han didn't need a system assist. He had his own experience. He opted for the manual forging method. Manual forging meant solving complex system puzzles. The higher the difficulty, the more legendary the result. Most masters avoided this high-risk minigame. But for Han, the rewards were far too tempting to ignore. He coldly selected super hard. Isabel gasped, "Are you insane? You're already under 3 heavy penalties." The puzzle flickered at light speed. Isabel couldn't even track it, but Han's master-level reflexes kicked into high gear. His fingers moved in a blur. Isabel watched in awe. Legendary. Those are the hands of a true god. Success, the system announced the creation of a refined longsword. Isabel let out a scream of pure admiration. Han admired the blade. Despite the crude materials, his skill had birthed a weapon of terrifying sharpness and balance. Riding the momentum, he dove back into the puzzles, crushing the super hard challenges one after another. A balanced bow, a sharp spear, and a sturdy metal shield. All high-tier rank C gear materialized before them. Han stretched his aching muscles. Rank C? I suppose that's the ceiling for such garbage raw materials. Stop now, Isabel asked. Han nodded. Any better, and the master will get suspicious. We need to stay low-key. Shortly after, the master logged back in. The party felt the familiar pull as they were summoned to the next floor. Jenna brandishes a lethal new bow. 1 arrow, 1 kill. She's amazed by its incredible tension. High-grade gear attracts greedy eyes. Han warns her to soul-bind the weapon or lose it forever. Bind it, and it's safe. Aaron sighs. Master is ruthless, sending only the 3 of us. Floor 4 introduces Harpy's deadly aerial hybrids. Han assigns Jenna to handle the incoming winged threat. Aaron, cover Jenna, but the boy panics, wildly thrusting his spear as the monsters swarm in. System alert. Aaron's fear drops his stats by 30%. Han growls at the useless rookie. Jenna slaps Aaron hard. Wake up, fail here and you're dead meat. Get it together now. Dazed and bleeding, Aaron freezes. Han charges ahead. Stop being a coward and start fighting. I'll try, Aaron stammers. Finally focused, the trio crushes Floor 4 with sheer, gritty determination. Rewards, 10,000 gold and rare materials. Aaron collapses, his stomach turning from the battle's intensity. Heaving, Aaron asks, I was useless. What happens to me now? Tension fills the heavy air. A notification pings. Aaron is now favorited. Han smiles. Looks like you've earned a survival chance. I'm alive. Aaron screams in relief. Jenna smiles. Their second comrade has finally begun to grow. Subordinate number 2 is maturing. Jenna teases. Han plays it cool, pretending he has no idea. Han heads to the armory, reminiscing. Subordinate number 1. That would have been Sari of Niflheim. He remembers his Loki Air Squad 5 legendary 6-star heroes, all at level 999. Armed with 5 divine artifacts and ultimate skills, they were truly unstoppable gods of the tower. Maybe I'll meet them again. In an autoplay world, Sari would surely manage to survive somehow. Sari and Jana were so brilliant, Han once doubted if they were just mere artificial intelligence. But they were real. Meanwhile, in Niflheim, the figures stand at the edge of the world. Must you leave? Jana asks. Sari nods. We must seize every single second we have left. One last request, Jana says softly. Please, stay focused on the investigation. Don't lose yourself. I will. Guard the master's territory for me, Sari replies, placing his trust in her hands. Sari vanishes into the darkness. Back with Han, the base facilities begin a massive transformation. The mansion hits level 2. Capacity increases as the cafeteria and annex are finally completed. Heroes get gourmet meals and triple training efficiency. The power level of the squad is soaring. The workshop and refinery merge into a massive gear studio. Everything is becoming top-tier quality. Healing speed doubles at the level 2 clinic. Jenna gapes at the sudden, magical renovations. What just happened? Jenna gasps. Aaron wonders, is our master actually some kind of archmage? Han shrugs. He's just spending big. He doesn't have many options left in this hellhole. Now it gets interesting, Han muses. The heroes' reactions feel far too human for digital code. They aren't just zeros and ones anymore. Han can feel their living souls in every breath. As floors are cleared, the lobby evolves. Han realizes the master follows a strict, daily routine. He's likely an office worker, Han deduces. The master watches the raids with calculated precision. He spends ISO currency freely. Better than a broke student, Han chuckles, noticing the premium purchases. A $65 pack. This master is serious. Unlike other games, this one is quite stingy. No freebies, no events, just pure grind. The developers truly hate giving things away for free. Han laughs. In this world, the big spenders are the ones who truly rule the tower. Suddenly, the system blares. The master is initiating a 10-pole summon. The gate begins to glow. Another one, Aaron exclaims. Han watches the summoning portal with a sharp, expectant gaze. The house is ready. Time to greet our new guest, Han says, his voice sounding cold. Gold summons are common, but gem summons, those are premium. High-tier heroes are on the way. The portal flashes, new souls emerge, trembling and lost. Where am I? Is this a dream? They wander in a daze, questioning their reality. Confusion turns to fear in their eyes. Han stares. Han pressed cold steel against the elder's throat. Who are you? The man gasped. Han remained silent. Explanations are for survivors, he muttered coldly. Calm your mind if you wish to live. Gather round. You commanded the crowd. Do we have any carpenters here? Step forward now. Leatherworkers, chefs. An old man raised a trembling hand. Wait, tell us what is happening. Shut it, Yo roared, losing patience. Jenna watched the chaos, confused. Han began assigning roles. We need infrastructure, Han explained. If those who died were here now, they could have avoided battle. The waiting room system began to shift. A notification rang out. Master is organizing teams. Team 2 was officially established and armed. Listen well, Han warned the group. Evolution is mandatory. Low-level amateurs do not deserve to eat. Push your limits or face the end. The master finally began the great sorting. 1-star units were sent to be purged, cast into the abyss. Adapt or be destroyed, the system echoed. This was a trial for the first floor. The heavy doors slammed shut instantly. One soul departed for the afterlife already. Genocide and regret. A simple explanation might have saved him. Don't waste breath on the doomed, Han countered. At least 2 must survive, Han muttered. The next group was summoned to the slaughter. Panic gripped the recruits as they drew swords. Fight monsters. I cannot do this. Fear paralyzed them. Aaron charged forward, spear in hand. Out of the way, Yo barked, there is no room for you. Jenna smirked at Aaron's stubborn nature. Han sighed, reconsidering the young warrior. He needs the experience. Join the squad, Han told Aaron, but do not expect me to save you. Aaron nodded firmly. Jenna stretched with a tired yawn. I am starving for a real meal. Nothing but potatoes since rival. That damn master, she cursed under her breath. Han watched her, doubting her survival instincts. The sky is so blue today, Jenna remarked. He is watching us like a god, Han replied. Jenna flinched, remembering her insult to the master. Han chuckled at her sudden terror. Relax, he is too busy to listen. He cannot hear us here, Han whispered secretly. Soon, the layout would be altered for the master. Team 2 successfully cleared the trial. Everyone returned alive, much to Han's surprise. How many goblins did you slay? Aaron held up one finger. Fine, follow me. Han led them home. Jenna cheered. Finally, no more potatoes. They entered the newly built canteen and the facilities were far better than expected. Real food at last, Jenna celebrated. As long as the master deems us useful. I can taste the roasted lamb already. Aaron's eyes sparkled. I want turkey, boss. Han broke out in a cold sweat. I will kick you out if you're useless. Then, the tray arrived. A basket of steaming potatoes was served. Han and Jenna stared in pure despair. I have spices, but only potatoes, the chef yelled. Han glared at the useless old man. You have no talent, Han stated coldly. He turned to a dark-haired woman. Chloe, you are our cook. Me? Chloe stammered in shock. The system prompt appeared. Designate Chloe as the chef. The old man tried to reclaim his post. Wait, let me try again. Han's gaze turned ice-cold. Choose a better lie next time, Han hissed. The man went pale and fell silent. Soon, a lavish feast of potato dishes appeared. Fried, sautéed, and savory soups filled the air. Jenna took a bite and beamed with joy. I never knew potatoes could taste like this. It is all in the seasoning, Chloe blushed. Han began to eat, his voice turning serious. Listen closely, I will not repeat this. Teach the new recruits how to survive. Or they will end up as corpses. Whispers spread through the room in fear. Jenna stood up, offering a friendly smile. Let's work together to stay alive. So we have different roles. Enoch asked. Han confirmed their positions in the base. Enoch, Chloe, you are our support. Don tried to help. Han's smile was terrifying. Lie again, and you are the first sacrifice. You would make perfect fusion material. Han warns the non-combatants. Staying back offers safety, but complacency is a slow death. Slots are limited. If someone more talented is summoned, you will be replaced instantly. A peaceful night passes, but the next day, Han's dull routine is suddenly shattered. 3 teens Zit, Hansen, and Dick join training. Jenna mocks the others for hiding in fear. Han is bored of sparring Aaron. New blood is exactly what this training ground needs. The rookies are disarmed immediately. Aaron's strictness has made Han look like a demon boss. Being called boss feels strange. The gap between us is like comparing children to giants. Mastering skills takes time. Back on Earth, this level of growth would be impossible. Jenna reached level 5 in archery. Aaron's spear mastery remains stuck at level 2. Aaron is always the first to arrive and the last to leave, yet progress is slow. The 3 rookies are only level 1 in swordsmanship, but their bond is already growing. They are exhausted but determined. These youngsters show more promise than the lazy veterans. They look at Han with pure awe. "Boss, you're incredibly strong," they exclaim. Han explains it is a matter of levels. Soon, more teenage summons join their ranks. Han steps back. Aaron and the rookies now handle the purging of the weak themselves. The population is rising. Jenna wonders why the master hasn't sent them to Floor 5. Floor 5 is a different league of despair. Han knows it is a complete death trap. Han hides the truth. The first party is not yet ready for such a leap. Every 5 levels, the difficulty skyrockets. This is essentially a boss floor challenge. Even Han fears for his survival. Many will likely perish in the coming carnage. He keeps this cruelty from Jenna. The true nightmare of this game starts now. The combat team has 6 members. Blacksmiths and cooks support them from the rear. Training on floor 4 begins. Aaron shouts for the rookies to keep their composure. Shields up. Han commands the defenders to protect the archers standing right behind them. Even the weak can win through coordination. True power lies in a perfect formation. Han watches from the sidelines. He could solo this, but they must learn to survive. Without him, they must grow stronger. Floor 5 will not offer any mercy. They clear the floor successfully. The rookies celebrate their hard-earned victory with high fives. 𝐃𝐔𝐍𝐿 greets them excitedly. Zit laughs, calling the entire challenge a walk in the park. Jenna is impressed. Meanwhile, the master begins playing the game more aggressively than ever. A 10-pull summon grants a blacksmith and a tanner. The forge finally roars to life. New equipment flows in. Ranky swords and shields are distributed to the new heroes. This gear increases their survival rate. The elite team receives even higher quality equipment. The slackers are lumped together. Those who avoided the training ground are now doomed. Among them is a fraud who lied about his class. Their time is running out. Zit is itching for a fight. He demands to challenge the next floor immediately. Han asks if the master is ready. Jenna is thrilled about reaching floor 5. Han warns them, if you relax too much, your heads will roll in an instant. They enter floor 5. A ruined city appears, looking like a bloody battlefield graveyard. The silence is eerie. Aaron is confused by the lack of monsters in sight. Han orders a scouting formation. The entire city is hollow and completely abandoned. No monsters and no civilians. This is not a typical extermination mission at all. Zit shouts in shock, pointing at a skeleton. Aaron's confusion turns into cold dread. Jenna finds dried bloodstains. This mission is unlike anything they have ever faced before. Those earlier floors were just a warm-up. Han looks toward the ominous stone tower. Scaling the tower, Jenna froze in terror. "Tell me my eyes are lying." "Give her a second," Aaron snapped. Jenna's face turned ghostly pale. Despair took hold. A green tsunami of goblins was swarming the city. "How many?" Han asked. "Thousands," Jenna whispered. "A literal flood." Floor 5, survival. They had to endure the crushing enemy waves. "Thousands," Aaron stuttered. Han's voice cut through. "Get down, now." "Is the system broken?" Han steadied him. "Don't panic, stay sharp." This wasn't a slaughter. It was endurance. Just survive the timer. Han dashed to a house. ** access denied. ** no hiding. No escape. Trapped in the open. "How long?" Han replied, 10 minutes. 10 minutes of hell. It's not impossible, just hold the line. * 9% survival. Han thought. Low-level survival missions were suicide. They called this the hero grinder. A graveyard for the weak. Into the alley, Han roared. Rit's heart hammered against his ribs. Buildings are ruins. This narrow gap is our only fortress now. At the fork, they dug in. Here, numbers meant nothing. "We hold," they roared. Han claimed the left flank. Aaron, right? Rith, Hansen, rear. Rotate turns and conserve energy. Jenna, center. Save your arrows. No firing without my command. Build barriers. If one side falls, we all die today. 30 minutes of real-time prep. The calm before the storm. The clock would only start ticking once the blood began to flow. A lone scout sniffed the air. Its yellow eyes locked on. The timer started. Damn it, barriers aren't ready. Han struck first. The floodgates opened. Use their corpses as our wall. Pile them. Han became a whirlwind of steel. But the tide was endless. Han cursed. Swap if tired, Jenna shouted. Han gritted his teeth. Block and thrust. Han rallied them. They are just mindless trash. Aaron's blade flashed. Just 10 minutes, right? He gasped for air. I never lie for minutes gone. Millions more were climbing. ** don't die here. ** Han vowed. ** not in this god-forsaken place. *. Exhaustion hit. Rith, swap with Hansen. Hansen tried to argue. Swap now. Han barked. Hansen cursed his own pathetic stamina. No skills, just grit. Every movement was a struggle for life. Stab, kill, repeat. Han's roar fueled their fading, aching spirits. They're weak pests, but their numbers were a terrifying nightmare. Don't they fear death? The team cried. Han roared, swap again. Rith wavered. Han saw the danger. Jenna, support Rith now. Retrieve your arrows. Jenna grinned. Finally, my turn to play. A headshot rang out. Aaron's world blurred into blood and steel. Is it over? Aaron screamed. 5 minutes, idiot. Keep fighting. Jenna ripped an arrow from a brain. Stay back, you freaks. A scream tore the air. Rith was bitten. System. Asterisk bleeding. Asterisk. Hansen, rotate. Take his place. Han's voice was a direct command. Hansen lunged forward. I've got you. Just hold the line. Quit crying. You will be treated once we return. But Rith's agony triggers a system alert. Fear debuff. Stats reduced by 30%. Han roars at the Saber to wake up. Do you want us all dead? Rith sobs an apology as Han continues his command. Jenna, patch him up, Rith. Remember Sen dies if you do not swap. Rith's fire ignites. A sharp yes escapes his teeth. Jenna tears cloth for bandages as a goblin strikes. Han spins, cleaving the sneaker before kicking it back into the green abyss. More goblins swarm. Han Sen screams his blade has reached its absolute limit. Rith bites back the pain. My left hand is ready. I can fight. Swap now. Hansen's blade is trashed. Even reinforced iron has its breaking point in this hell. No edge. Use it as a club. No sword. Then raise your shield and hold. New formation. Jenna, take Aaron's spot. Aaron tries to argue, but time is short. Rest while you can. Han bellows. 3 minutes left. Just 3 more minutes. These 30 minutes feel like an eternity in hell. Aaron, swap for Jenna now. Jenna is drenched. Aaron pants. 10 seconds of rest is plenty. Let's keep moving. Han Sen, swap with Rith. Jenna, cover them. She fires arrows without hesitation. Arrows are running low. If the line breaks, we are finished. Empty every quiver. A hail of arrows flies. One goblin catches a shaft and lunges toward Han. Rith takes the blow meant for Han Sen. Blood sprays as he collapses to the earth. Jenna finishes the beast. System alert. Rith has entered a critical, life-threatening state. Mortality looms. Han is livid. One man's fall endangers the entire squad's survival. Jenna freezes in panic. Rith's breath hitches in agony. Han Sen is also fading fast. Willpower is eroding. Han Sen, unaware of the fall, begs Rith for 30 more seconds. A goblin blade nearly finds Han's heart while he is busy commanding the team. He dodges and counters. Han Sen, clear the left side. I will hold this line. But what about Rith? Han barks. He is just resting. Move, or we all die. System alert. Rith has fallen in battle. Han turns to Jenna. He is gone. Help me. Jenna steels herself, slashing through the horde with desperate, tearful fury. How much longer? No time to look. Just kill. Suddenly, Jenna achieves awakening. Short sword mastery level 3. Flash step learned. Hands gear hits level 5. Pain resistance level 2. Skills mean nothing if we die here. Fight harder. A horrific scream. Han Sen is caught in the monster's cruel, crushing claws. He collapses, begging Han to save him. I do not want to die in this place. It is impossible. Han hardens his heart. To save the rest, Sen is sacrificed. Jenna, Aaron, move with me. Jenna hesitates to leave her fallen comrades behind. Live first, mourn later. They flee into an alley, only to hit a dead end. Is this the end? Don't you dare give up. Han spots a final escape route. Climb the wall. Jenna panics, but Han promises to follow right behind her. Goblins are snapping at their heels. Do not stop, keep moving or be consumed. Jenna reaches the top. I am up, hurry, Han, get up here right now. Han leaps up. Aaron, your turn. Jenna reaches down to pull him to safety. A goblin blade pins Aaron's leg to the stone. He screams in absolute terror. Jenna is nearly pulled down. Han's eyes flare with cold, lethal determination. Hold him tight. Han warns Aaron, I am taking the leg to save your life. The blade falls. Aaron screams tears through the air. System alert, heavy bleeding. Han vaults back up. Pull him up. Aaron is fading fast from the massive blood loss. The situation was dire. These goblins were terrifyingly intelligent, stacking themselves like a living ladder to reach their prey. Han barked orders for Jenna to use Aoni's spear. Stab anything that breathes. If the perimeter fell, they were dead meat. Jenna thrust the spear frantically into the green tide, but in the chaos, her grip slipped. The weapon clattered away. Panic seized her. I dropped the spear. What now? Han roared back. Don't just stand there. Use your legs. Kick them. How much longer? Jenna screamed, her strength failing. Han's voice was an anchor. 30 seconds, just 30 more seconds. You said 30 seconds an hour ago. I'm not lying. Have faith in me, and hold on for one more heartbeat. This time, Han was telling the truth. The clock ticked toward 32 seconds. Suddenly, a goblin lunged onto the platform. Han swung his blade, but the monster was faster. A jagged dagger buried itself deep into Han's stomach, a devastating blow. Agony paralyzed him, halting his counterstrike. The demon smirked, twisting the blade before ripping it out. Crimson blood erupted everywhere. Han collapsed to his knees. Jenna was hit too. Surrounded by monsters, Han felt death's breath. Is this my grave? Only floor 5. It was cruelly unfair. He couldn't understand why fate was so brutal. Back on Earth, this was impossible. His consciousness began to drift into the darkness. Why me? Out of everyone, why does it have to be me? Suddenly, a spark of pure defiance ignited in his soul. He surged upward, slashing the throat of the goblin that stabbed him. You bastards! It's not over yet. I won't fall here. His eyes burned with a murderous, soul-piercing light. Survival instinct triggered. Berserker mode activated. Han became a whirlwind of steel, carving through the horde with savage desperation. He had awakened the frenzy skill. His left eye bled into a demonic, glowing crimson. He whispered to his shattering mind. Every breath felt like inhaling glass. His body screamed in protest, but he vowed never to fall even if his blade snapped. He glared at the monsters and roared, "You want to kill me? Then come and try. Come at me all at once." He was a demon drenched in blood. Even when his sword shattered, he didn't stop. He threw himself into the slaughter. Dragging his broken blade, he charged into the fray alone. Just then, the timer hit 0. The nightmare reached its end. The monsters dissolved into mist. A razor-sharp claw was inches from Han's face. Aaron had also narrowly escaped death's grip. System alert, stage cleared. Han was the MVP. The familiar waiting room materialized. They dropped their weapons, trembling in shock. Jenna collapsed, sobbing. Aaron lay motionless. Han gasped for air, looking around. Slowly, the reality of survival finally sank in. Tears of relief streamed down Jenna's face. "Can you help me up? I'm exhausted. I can't even stand anymore." Han gripped her hand and pulled her up. "We're alive," he whispered. "The room is resetting. We made it through." Jenna trembled. Is floor 5 always this hellish? Han's expression darkened. No. This was an exception, a rigged game. The system was designed to crush them all if one fell. A total annihilation scenario. They had barely survived the trap. He needed to strengthen Riz and Hansen. Better training was mandatory. They were simply too weak for such a brutal trial. Jenna bowed her head, thinking of their fallen comrades. Sorrow hung heavy as the weight of loss finally hit them. Han helped the survivors toward the exit. Dekka ran to meet them, shouting, "Great job. Sister Chloe has a feast waiting." Dekka looked for the others. "Where are Riz and Hansen?" Han's voice was hollow. "They sacrificed themselves. They're gone." "They're dead," Han repeated firmly. Dekka froze, the smile vanishing. A heavy, suffocating silence fell over the entire group. They retreated to the living quarters. The master's voice echoed through the system, calling out the names of the survivors. Back in his room, Han collapsed onto the bed. He refused to cry. In the vanguard, death was a common shadow. His mind drifted to the new skill, frenzy. He had actually learned it. But composure and frenzy should be polar opposites. They shouldn't exist together. This was surely a system error. Composure kept him sane, while frenzy granted raw power. Losing his mind for strength was a dangerous trade. This duality was likely linked to his unique status as a master. He was both a master and a hero, but today, he was too exhausted to think. His eyes grew heavy. "Tomorrow will be a war of its own," he muttered. Closing his eyes, he let sleep claim him. Morning arrived quickly. Jenna was already at the training grounds, pushing herself to the limit. Han was shocked. She was never an early riser. "I just don't want to die," she said simply. Han watched her. She had gained a new skill and a new resolve. She had talent and newfound grit. Meanwhile, Aaron had gained nothing despite the ordeal. He remained stagnant and weak. Han's own progress was slow, only 5 points per session. Not surprising for a 3-star hero like himself. He stripped off his shirt and began his routine. Target, level 10, the pinnacle of rank 1. Then, the next rank. Suddenly, Jenna reached out, her fingers brushing against the hard, defined lines of his six-pack. Jenna shamelessly ogled Han's rock-hard ABS, her face flushed with greed. Han scoffed, "Control yourself. Have some dignity." "Hands off," Han snapped. The price of her thirst, a massive bump. Jenna pouted. "Looking doesn't wear them out." Han grumbled while dressing. He couldn't believe her. The moment a handsome guy appears, her common sense vanishes. Was she really this dense? After yesterday's tragedy, she was still acting like a complete and total fool. Jenna looked around, but Aaron was missing. Han shrugged. Forget him. He's probably moping over those 3 friends. Jenna sighed. Usually, they'd be training hard by now. Those 2 were usually obsessed with gaining more power. Han glared at the pathetic extras training behind them. Unlike them, those half-hearted losers were just plain soldier. They were just avoiding the master's gaze. Riz and Hansen had potential, though. With training, they'd be useful. It's a tragedy. The ones who died yesterday should have been these losers, not the talented warriors we lost. Let's just train, genocide. Suddenly, Aaron appeared. Sorry I'm late, he muttered, his face heavy with guilt. If only I were stronger, Aaron whispered. Han stood firm. They died because they were weak. Not your fault. A month had passed since Han arrived. In this strange world, time felt like 10 days back on Earth. He was finally sensing with this reality. He remembered his old habit logging in thrice daily to track every update. He used to analyze every floor, every difficulty spike, and every outcome to master the game's brutal mechanics. Success depended on team synergy and calculated skills. Every decision was a life or death move against the ticking clock. Master 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐊 laughed, clearly satisfied. You're all doing well. Look at Han, he survived the 5th floor perfectly. Jenna narrowed her eyes. Why is she so obsessed with him? 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐊 just smirked. That's a secret, honey. Then 𝐒-𝐑𝐊's voice roared. The rest of you, move. Luck won't save you forever. Only strength ensures your survival. Han sighed and turned away, needing some peace. Suddenly, a bright system notification flashed before his eyes. The master formed a new party. Han, Jenna, Louis, Gopher, and Owen. Jenna gasped. Who are these people? Don't overthink it, Han replied. We'll bond in battle. The 5 of them stepped into the cold waiting area. A message appeared, daily dungeon renewed. The mission. Collect rare materials in Kendo Forest for 11 hours. Han crossed his arms, just as I predicted. It's finally unlocked. A man stepped forward, his hands trembling. Are we fighting with you? Owen stammered. Han didn't answer immediately, just glared. What's your name, old man? I'm Owen. But honestly, we're too weak to help. Suddenly, a blinding pillar of light engulfed the party. Relax, Han said calmly. You won't be doing much fighting anyway. In an instant, they were in a forest. They could only return once the materials were gathered. Jenna gripped her daggers. Where's the enemy? Another trial. Suddenly, Han reached out and pinched Jenna's cheek. She snapped, glaring at him. What the hell are you doing? It was a joke, Han teased. Jenna wasn't amused. Your sense of humor is colder than the North Pole. Han picked up a stone. Listen up. This is a daily dungeon, a place designed purely for resource gathering. Owen pointed to a glowing pink portal nearby. Is that a trash can? Han shook his head. Hardly. It's a storage cart. Whatever we find like these branches goes in there to be processed back at our base. Everything has a recipe. 100 branches make 1 plank. But we'll need a carpenter to refine them. Focus on the useful stuff. Leave the literal trash where it is, Han instructed. The newcomers stood there frozen. That's it, they muttered. Jenna looked shocked. Wait, no monsters. We don't have to kill anything at all. Han turned his back. You're the exception. Follow me, we're going hunting. Jenna followed him, her interest piqued. And here I thought I'd get a break, she sighed. So, what's dinner? Poor deer. Are we eating meat? Soon, they spotted a deer grazing peacefully. Jenna's eyes sparkled with hunger. Found you, dinner. Stay right there. An arrow pierced the beast's neck instantly. Jenna cheered and ran over. Han watched her. Can you skin it? Of course. How do you think I've survived? Jenna expertly began her work, letting the dark blood drain. She handled the knife with practiced ease, removing the hide. Han watched for a moment before turning to leave. Clean it up and toss it in the portal, Han called. Don't miss a scrap. I'm going hunting alone. I'm sick of eating nothing but potatoes, he muttered. He wandered deeper until he found a breathtaking waterfall. He checked the timer. 30 minutes remained until the automatic recall. Then he saw his target through the mist. There it was. His real objective, the Forest King. A majestic white deer covered in glowing, mystical patterns. A majestic golden deer emerged, sporting a single horn like a legendary unicorn. This rare beast only appears within the deepest stone forest dungeons. Its low-tier attribute stones are vital for rank-ups. The drops are never guaranteed. Han located a high drop zone, and without wasting a single second, he leaped and decapitated the beast. The herd retaliated in a blind fury, but Han's blade was a relentless blur, carving through their ranks with surgical precision. The Forest King's bloodlust filled the air as Han stood his ground. Your kin are all dead, he mocked. Feel the rage yet? Scanning the chaos, Han gave a chilling smirk, and pointed his cold steel forward. Come on, baby, who's next? Suddenly, screams pierced the sky, as a severed head seemed to hover in midair. The party froze in absolute terror. They squinted through the gloom, realizing it was only Han returning, clutching his prize after the slaughter. Drenched in crimson from head to toe, he tossed a blood-filled shield aside. Don't you recognize me? He asked coolly. Jenna stared at the massive beast in awe. Han sighed, exhaustion weighing heavy. Just give me a hand. I'm spent. How was your haul? He asked. Jenna dumped her bloodied shield. To deer and a wild boar, she replied. The waiting room will eat well tonight. But why bring that useless head back? It's not exactly a delicacy. The horn wouldn't budge, Han explained. Strange. It's a female, yet it possesses a king's golden horn. Jenna inspected the carcass with an expert eye. You can tell the gender just by looking. I've survived here long enough, she shrugged. System. Jenna has acquired the forest hunter skill. As she expertly butchered the beast, Han watched her growth in silence. Another awakening. She'll reach the next rank easily at this rate. Han then pulled a shimmering gem from the meat. A low-grade wind attribute stone. It pulsed with the forest raw aura, a core ingredient for crafting and hero rank ups. That evening, a magnificent feast was prepared. The survivors cheered at the sight of fresh meat, their eyes sparkling with joy. Everyone seems quite energized, Jenna laughed, watching them devour the entire deer. The morale was finally rising. Han's expression turned grim. Feast over. Follow me. The daily dungeon system was shifting its gates. Today, the destination was the Sin Moreau Highlands, a treacherous terrain perfect for harvesting rare attribute stones. Forming a temporary duo, they stepped inside. Will these rocks really make me stronger? Jenna asked, skepticism in her voice. To transcend your limits, Han countered, you must master the elements. That's why we're here. Jenna approached the cliffside, mesmerized by the golden sunrise. She embraced the cool morning air with a smile. Look at the view. The wind feels amazing. But Han's gaze was fixed elsewhere, on a patch of vibrant red flowers. The herb of life. He only seen it in ancient scrolls. The primary ingredient for divine healing potions. Suddenly, a monstrous wolf lunged from the brush. They moved as one, their teamwork perfectly synchronized in battle. The beast collapsed in seconds. We took down a giant wolf. Jenna cheered, her adrenaline still surging high. Han sheathed his blade with a frown. Don't celebrate yet. The scent of blood will draw other predators. Move fast, he urged. Jenna began harvesting the fangs, while Han examined a glowing blue gem. Another wind attribute stone, identical to the one from the Forest King. It hummed with concentrated power. Jenna butchered the wolf with a relaxed sigh. It's so peaceful here. Clean the blood off before you talk, Han grumbled. I wish it stayed like this, she mused. Hunting, gathering herbs, and sleeping under a roof. It feels like a dream. If only the master wasn't here, this would be paradise. He'd probably be off acting stylish somewhere else. Han stopped in his tracks. Did the others feel the same way? That the master's presence was a curse? He glanced at Jenna. You don't want to fight anymore. The front lines are hell, she whispered softly. There's always more to do, she continued. Stop daydreaming. We have a long road ahead of us. If things keep getting better, that's all I want. Han let out a rare, genuine laugh. Days later, the team ascended to the 6th floor. Their objective, reconnaissance, to uncover the secrets of an unknown territory. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 trembled with nerves. Aaron scanned the horizon, puzzled. This doesn't feel like a standard dungeon, he noted. A rare scouting mission, Han deduced. Aaron grew restless. Where are the enemies? Is it like the 5th floor? Han signaled for absolute silence. Keep your voices down. Don't alert anything in these woods. The 3 subordinates immediately hit the dirt. Han massaged his temples in frustration. I said stay low, not crawl on your bellies. If we meet the conditions, we clear the stage. He ordered Jenna to scout from the canopy. She vanished into the leaves. 3 goblins ahead, she whispered down. They're distracted, just chatting away. Should we move in for the kill? Wait, they have a signal horn, Han hissed. If they sounded the alarm, reinforcements would swarm their position instantly. Jenna scouted ahead before reporting back. There is a goblin village nearby. It is crawling with at least 100 monsters. Han sensed a trap. They are setting an ambush. If we rush in blindly, we are walking straight into a massacre. Creeping closer, Han whispered orders. Jenna, take the one on the right. Aaron, hurl your spear at the one I flush out. He turned to 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 with a serious gaze. If things go south, jump in. We need your steel. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 nodded nervously. The silence shattered as Jenna fired. Aaron lunged from the shadows, his spear claiming a brutal headshot on the first target. Another goblin reached for its horn, but Han was faster. A silver flash silenced the beast forever. No backup for you. The system chimed with victory. Stage cleared. A massive reward of 5,000 gold coins materialized before the weary group. Is that it? 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 asked, stunned. Not even close, Han replied shortly before vanishing back into the dark forest. He needed a lead. In an exploration quest, there was always a hidden clue pointing toward the next floor's secrets. Missions might be random, but Han knew survival meant staying 2 steps ahead of the system's cruel logic. He found the heart of the village. Goblins were taming savage wolves. Han watched from the brush, calculating their strength. A goblin sniffed the air, glancing his way. Just in time, Han activated his return and vanished back to the room. Jenna was waiting. Where did you go off to? Just scouting the perimeter, Han muttered, his mind racing with possibilities. He had seen this pattern before. The legendary quest chain The Flow was beginning, and it started with this exploration. What did the flow actually signify? Han felt a surge of irritation as the pieces of the puzzle remained scattered. It is coming too early, he thought. The flow of this world is shifting much faster than I ever anticipated. Suddenly, Chloe ran up, trembling. Han, we have a major problem. Some very strange people have just arrived. It is not our first visitor, Chloe, Han said coolly, but she shook her head. No, these ones carry an ominous aura. Han's expression darkened. The master had used a high-rank summon. A link to the Wolf's Mane mercenaries was forged. 5 new souls were now bound to the master by a tight, invisible tether. This was a dangerous turning point. In this game, pulling a pre-made team was a double-edged sword. To maximize power, you had to separate them. To unlock their true potential, they had to fight alone. Grouping them now would only hinder their individual growth. Did the master spend real money? Han asked. Issa cheered. Yes. He bought the $50 starter pack. 2,500 gems and 50,000 gold, a premium arrival. Han's mind quickly crunched the tactical numbers. If it were me, I would have summoned them earlier, Han mused. But a full squad is still a massive boost. Go back to the kitchen, Chloe. They won't bite. Han turned away. No matter who they were, the grind remained. Outside, a striking woman with raven hair leaned against the wall, her gaze lost in a sea of deep thought. Hi there, Jenna chirped, startling the stranger. The beautiful woman blinked, slowly returning the greeting with a wary look. I am Jenna Sarai. And you? I am Anneth Galen, the dark-haired girl replied, her voice soft yet firm. Jenna pointed at Han. That is Han. He is a bit prickly, but he is a good guy. Han sighed. Quiet, Jenna. Han scanned her stats, a 3-star hero, class, thief. She was highly skilled with short swords and the bow. A typical 3-star build. High agility but low health. She was a glass cannon designed for lethal precision strikes. Her mobility was her greatest asset. In this world, speed often dictated who lived and who died in the shadows. Anneth, I need a word with you, Han said, his voice commanding. Let us speak inside the canteen immediately. As Jenna served water, Anneth broke the silence. You seem to understand this nightmare better than anyone else here. I know enough to survive, Han answered. What about you? Do you remember how you were brought to this place? Anneth looked down. It is a blur. I was summoned to fight, that is all. Remembering makes my head throb. Do you understand synthesis? Han asked. The act of sacrificing one soul to empower another hero's strength? His suspicions were confirmed. The amount of knowledge a hero possessed was tied directly to their star rank. Higher stars meant more awareness of the game's cruel mechanics. They were born with the burden of truth. Your gear, you were a mercenary, weren't you? Anneth nodded. I was a proud member of the Wolf's Mane. We were on a mission in Hanny, then darkness. I woke up in this strange place with no escape. A 3-star mercenary was a rare find. She was leagues above common soldiers like Momin in every way. Jenna watched the tense exchange, sensing the shift in the air. A powerful new player had finally entered the fray. Before the awe could fade, Yiso's voice thundered from outside. Anon, Jaeon, Wei, Binan, and edit the master summons you all immediately. Move it, you lot, Han warned as the girls were ushered toward the plaza. Suddenly, a massive, imposing figure emerged from the shadows. A blond giant carrying a colossal beast's legs stomped out, his footsteps shaking the earth. Who dares call my name? He roared. Edit stood, signaling the giant. The master calls. Let's move. The brute tore a massive chunk of meat away with a savage grin. It's been ages since I tasted fresh blood. Let's see this master's face. They exited, the heavy door slamming behind them, leaving Chloe dazed. He just took the whole meal. That meat was supposed to feed 5 people. Jenna's temper flared as she realized their dinner had just vanished. Then go take it back, Han sighed, standing up. To the plaza. 5 new faces were already gathering, their presence heavy with latent power. The system chimed, Team 5 formed, title Wolf's Mane. These weren't mere fodder, they were all elite 3-star heroes ready for slaughter. Irvin took command as leader. A nearby coward scurried to Han, whispering, they look dangerous. Look at those weapons. He was visibly trembling. I carry a blade too, Han replied coldly. The fat man stammered, but I have this feeling about them. Han finished his sentence for him. That they're villains? The man nodded frantically. Yiso interrupted, herding the newcomers toward the chamber. Move. The master expects you all inside now. They entered the summoning room with chilling confidence. Han watched them, knowing their intimidating looks were matched only by their lethal combat prowess. Don't let appearances fool you. They're monsters in human skin. Han turned to Jenna, asking for her instinctual read on the new arrivals. Jenna pondered. It seems decent, but the others, they reek of trouble. Han then addressed the loitering crowd, his eyes sharp and unforgiving. So, what do you want? Protection. The fat man broke into a cold sweat, nodding. Please, we'd be so grateful. Han let out a mocking laugh. For free. The man fumbled. Well, you're the strongest, right? Han sneered. Didn't you all mock the very idea of training just yesterday? Why beg me now? If they look so terrifying, why not get on your knees and worship them? Isn't that how you've always survived? The crowd stood frozen, their pathetic silence speaking volumes. Han's disgust for these spineless leeches was reaching its boiling point. They were absolutely worthless. Aside from Aaron, this lot was worse than trash. They dodged every drill, spending their days lazing around while others bled for their safety. They devoured Jenna's hard-won kills while refusing to learn a single trade. These parasites only pretended to work to avoid being used as sacrifices. Han's gaze turned lethal. Get out of my sight before I decide to end you myself. The intensity in his eyes sent them scrambling. The cowards fled, faces pale with terror. Han turned to Aaron, his voice dropping. While you were bleeding out, they were just sleeping. Never waste your pity on those who wouldn't lift a finger for you. He then noticed 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿, whose eye was swollen and bruised purple. Rough fight, kid? Han asked. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 jumped, his hand flying to his face. How did you know I was fighting? Your eye looks like a mountain peak, Han joked. Aaron chimed in, explaining it was a sanctioned duel requested by the boy himself. I see. Han smirked. You two troublemakers, get some rest. He then grabbed Jenna by the collar just as she tried to slip away. And where do you think you're going? Just then, the Wolf's main team emerged, victorious. Yin spat on the ground, mocking the weak enemies. Goblins. What a joke. Wei laughed boastfully. Irvin, however, remained silent, his sharp gaze locking onto Han, who sat there with effortless composure. Who are you? Irvin demanded. Han's lips curled into a smirk. Who I am is none of your concern, mercenary. Jaeon flared up instantly. Know your place, brat, Jaeon barked. Jenna didn't flinch. Maybe if you had some manners, we'd show some respect. Wei chimed in with a sneer. Who's this loudmouthed woman? Irvin stepped forward. I am Irvin of the Wolf's Mane. And you? Han replied simply. I'm Missile Han. Armed and capable, are you a mercenary too? Irvin probed. Just a humble farmer, Han replied coolly. Irvin's eyes narrowed, his suspicion growing. A farmer? Is every soul here being conscripted? Irvin muttered. Exactly, Han confirmed. A heavy silence followed until the system's sudden announcement shattered the air. Tenfold summon initiated. Han's eyebrows shot up. A massive pull. The master must be getting desperate to burn resources like that. The chamber doors swung wide, revealing 10 days newcomers stumbling into the light. Yiso looked like she was about to explode with rage. Master, you absolute idiot, she screamed. Jaeon, Diamond, 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿, get to the synthesis room now. One of the new arrivals stepped forward, confused. Who are you? How do you know my name? He demanded. Yiso snapped back. Shut up and move. Orders are orders. Get inside the chamber. Suddenly, Yen loomed behind a boy, gripping his throat with iron fingers. You're Dian, aren't you? You're the perfect fit for this. The boy turned pale, trembling in terror. Jenna gasped, unable to believe her eyes. This can't be happening. Han remained eerily calm beside her. They were just summoned, she whispered. Irvin didn't care, barking at Yen to grab another. The blonde giant's hand clamped onto a new victim's neck. Which one of you is 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿? Jaeon roared, dragging the terrified souls toward the synthesis room. Han realized the master was being dangerously reckless. He's acting like a rookie gambler, Han noted. Jenna's heart sank. This is wrong. They haven't even had a chance to prove their worth. The master was blundering. Sure, they were 1-stars, but in this world, even the lowest rank could hide a diamond in the rough. Yet here they were, being sacrificed as mere fuel, without a second glance. The synthesis process began, consuming the lives of the newly summoned. Yen emerged from the chamber moments later, a twisted, predatory grin on his face. Yes, I can feel the power surging through me. Yiso signals a level up as Evan calls out his next targets, Sonio and Daniel. Terror grips the crowd as they flee. Evan orders his Wolfmane thugs to seal every exit. Edit hesitates, drawing a sharp rebuke. Move it, aren't you a Wolfmane or not? Edit reluctantly draws his steel. Han turns to Yiso. Give the master a hint regarding these recruits. Yiso quickly briefs the chicken master. Han knows how easily this world breaks a man. Yin storms forward, his face twisted in rage. Who do you think you are, interfering with us? Han offers a chilling smile. Interfering? No. I'm just offering some friendly advice. Did I hit a nerve? Han mocks. Enraged, Yin swings his heavy blade with lethal intent. A whizzing arrow cuts the air, forcing Yin back. Jenna warns that was a deliberate miss. Yin fumes, veins popping on his head. Evan glares at Han. You're really turning against us. Edit tries to stop the madness, but Evan strikes her down. Shut up, he bellows at Han. Do you have any idea who we are? Evan growls. Han just laughs in his face. I know exactly what you are. Pure trash. The Wolfmane's expressions turn murderous. System alert. Hostility detected. Yiso warns that infighting among heroes is strictly forbidden. I doubt that, Han retorts. Yiso stammers, but Han is already exposing their lies. Mercenaries, don't make me laugh. You're nothing but common bandits and thugs. Evan scoffs. claiming they only act on orders. Han's laugh is cold and dismissive. You're crossing a line you can't come back from. Han ignores the threat entirely. He turns to his ally. Scum like this, regardless of level, only hinders the party's efficiency. They disrupt order and ruin the trials. They are parasites that must be purged. Han points his finger directly at Evan. Challenge me. Open the duel system right now. In this world, duels settle blood feuds. With mutual consent, the stakes can be absolute. Evan is bewildered. You're insane. Why go this far? What did we even do? Because you're garbage, Han replies. And nobody wants garbage cluttering up this place. You were scouting the population because you're terrified of anyone who can actually fight back. Once you realized nobody could stop you, you targeted the weak one-star recruits. Bullying the helpless. Is that all your pride is worth? Evan's face turns scarlet. Fine, you want to be a sacrifice? I'll oblige. Jenna watches, confused by the sudden escalation. Han's terms are simple. If I win, I absorb him. If he wins, he absorbs me. Evan accepts the challenge, leveling his sword. I'm going to enjoy breaking you. The master rejects the synthesis wager. Han sighs. What a pathetic coward. Han tells Jenna to lead the recruits to safety. Will you be okay alone? She asks. Han cracks his neck, looking effortlessly cool. You really think I lose to this trash? Jenna beams with confidence. The system finally chimes. The duel begins now. The fight ends when one of us surrenders, Han declares. Evan agrees with a smirk. I won't kill you yet. I need a fresh sacrifice. Han tells 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 to mask the area. Don't let the others interfere. Even 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 feels a wave of anxiety for his champion. Evan lunges with a roar. Die. You arrogant brat. You haven't even drawn your sword. Han calculates. Level 2, strength near 20, stage 3 swordsmanship. A formidable foe on paper. But a slight level gap means nothing to me. Evan's eyes widen as Han's aura shifts. Han activates Berserk. His physical stats explode as a terrifying pressure fills the air. He vanishes, effortlessly dodging the lethal strike before reappearing behind Evan like a ghost. Han seizes Evan's head and slams it into the earth with bone-shattering force. Drawing his blade with a flourish, Han drives it through Evan's shoulder. Know your place. Make one more stupid move and you're dead. Evan's scream of pure agony rings out. Han leans in with a devilish grin. Surrender now. His blade sinks deep before the plea even finishes. Evan screams in agony as Han twists the steel. Speak up. I can't hear your pathetic whimpering. Beaten tries to negotiate for mercy. Han scoffs and tosses the broken men aside like worthless trash. Mercy? Did you show mercy when you hunted your prey? Benen's face turns pale with sudden fear. This is a sacred duel. Why are you worms crawling into my arena? Han's eyes flash dangerously. This battle only ends when the loser admits his absolute and total defeat, no exceptions. Evan gasps for air, trying to yield. Han's hand clamps over his mouth like a heavy vice. The fun is just starting. Without your surrender, the slaughter continues. Han's voice is chilling. He is my prey now. Do not worry about his life. Just focus on your own survival. Benen draws his steel and roars. You madman, you have no idea who we really are. The Broken Wolf mercenaries? Please, you are nothing but a pack of rabid stray dogs. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 stays silent. The glory of their mercenary past has long since rotted away to nothing. You are just thugs roaming the streets, terrorizing the weak. Han's laugh is cold and sharp. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿, why stay with these losers? Is this really the legacy your father wanted for you? Think carefully. You want to rot with trash, or rise with us? Choose your side now. 𝐒-𝐑𝐻 hesitates, her heart racing. Yen roars in absolute fury at her perceived betrayal and weakness. You traitorous wench. You would turn your back on us. Han sighs at the annoying noise. You know the price of betrayal, 𝐒-𝐑𝐻. Yen's eyes burn with a murderous and dark hatred. Evan crawls toward a blade in a desperate struggle. Han sees every single pathetic move. Han slams his head into the dirt. Dust explodes. This is how garbage should finally end. Join us, 𝐒-𝐑𝐻. I need a real ally, and your timing is perfect. Han's offer is firm. Yen screams about the cost of treason. 𝐒-𝐑𝐻's heart wavers, then her gaze turns to steel. She takes a decisive step toward Han, a wise decision for a brand new future. System alert, the Broken Wolf group has been officially disbanded because of 𝐒-𝐑𝐻's departure. Now get out of my sight. Your presence stinks up the air. The enemies tremble with rage. Evan grovels, trying to surrender. Han cuts him off with a look of pure and cold disdain. I will kill you. I will eat you alive. Evan's threats are hollow and fueled by desperation. Shut up and surrender already. You are becoming a bore. Han is losing his remaining patience. They lunge forward. 𝐒-𝐑𝐿 blocks their path. The duel is not over yet. Stay back. Out of the way, you brat. We will slaughter you too. The three fools charge blindly. Han smiles. They just walk straight into their own graves. This will be a total bloodbath. 𝐒-𝐿's eyes glow crimson. You have forfeited your right to live. No second chances for fools. With a flash of silver, heads roll, a crimson rain paints the battlefield in a gruesome display. I warned you. But you chose the path of death. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐊's voice is as cold as ice. She turns to Han with a playful grin. How was that? Did I look cool back there? Amazing job. Evan finally chokes out the final words. I surrender. Victory is sealed. The frenzy fades, leaving a pounding headache. I must control this terrifying and wild power. System, victory achieved. Evan is defeated and ready for the dark synthesis process to begin. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐊 urges him to click the screen. Evan's fate is sealed within the digital abyss forever. He did not even know the rules. What a pathetic amateur player. Han mocks his ignorance. No money, no skill, just another low-tier player in a high-tier world. A complete loser. Synthesis complete, sword mastery, and pain resistance surge through Han's veins with newfound legendary power. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐊 is worried. Will the master quit? We just lost our 3-star units for nothing. They died before we could even use them. Such a waste of precious and rare resources. Relax, Han says calmly. If he was a quitter, he would have left at the start. After losing a 4-star hero, Han realized the level cap had been reached. To grow stronger, the master must first increase his own rank. Han walked away, mocking the master's desperate temple summon. To save money, only to watch those 3-star units perish instantly. Truly tragic luck, master. But, if trash like that remained, the waiting room would be useless. You will thank me for this later. Ha! Looking at these corpses, they were all brawn and no brains. I am level 10 now, and I can evolve through synthesis. I have been the MVP in every battle if he is foolish enough to mess with me now. Climbing the tower will become an impossible dream. Han glared at the sky, toward the star known as water. Well, master, if you want to take me down, you better be decisive. After the battle, Han strolled into the canteen. Everyone was already waiting there for his arrival. Their faces lit up instantly. 𝐒-𝐷𝐀𝐍𝐿 cheered, boss, that was incredible. Han just pinched Jenna's cheek. What is this, Jenna? Did you start this? I told you not to say anything unnecessary, did I not? Ow. I only told the truth. A heavy-set man stepped forward. Han, we heard, thank you for saving us from those thugs earlier. Others chimed in, calling them villains. Han sighed deeply. You have got it all wrong. The man nodded knowingly. We understand. We are not shameless people. We truly want to thank you for our lives. From now on, we won't let Han cut him off. I only saved the newcomers. This has nothing to do with the rest of you. The man stammered. What do you mean? Han smirked. The master is absolutely furious right now. Suddenly, a notification blared. Louis, Jeffrey Ogan, and Arnold, and Yonka, you 6, step forward immediately. Han thought to himself. The master catches on fast. That is why his attitude shifted so quickly. The man tried to stay calm. It is okay, everyone. It is just like usual. We are probably just going on a goblin hunt. Jenna frowned. The master usually only calls 5 people for a standard formation. Why 6 this time? Han spoke bluntly to synthesize them, obviously. The crowd froze in absolute horror at those words. What? We have been working so hard. Han turned to Aaron and 𝐒-𝐷𝐀𝐍𝐿. Did they look hard-working? While you were bleeding on the training grounds, what were they doing? Aaron and 𝐒-𝐷𝐀𝐍𝐿 stayed silent. Han looked at Jenna. Did they ever help you hunt? Jenna thought for a moment, and then answered. I guess they helped carry the meat I caught. Han sneered. Even pack mules can carry luggage. You are no better than cattle. A bald man shoved past, enraged. Cattle. What is that supposed to? Han silenced him with a brutal kick to the face. Shut up. The system message flashed impatiently. Get to the town square now. Did you not hear me? My patience only lasts so long, you fools. Please, save us. The master will listen to you, Jenna whispered. Who are they being fed to? Han crossed his arms. Likely Edis. She is a fresh summon and needs the levels. It's the logical choice. The victims wailed. I won't go. Please, just one more chance. I will do better if you let me. But the system had no mercy. The useless were consumed. Edis leveled up, unlocking the disarm trap skill. Han addressed the survivors. Who you were before does not matter here. Don't expect a free ride. And do not expect protection. If you want to live, prove your worth to this world. But I have no talent. One sobbed. My hands shake holding a sword. You are just killing us. Han ignored the whining. He looked at the veterans and began assigning roles to the remaining survivors. Chloe, Enter, 𝐿-𝐷𝐀𝐍𝐿, Patrick. If any of them have guts, teach them your trade. 𝐿-𝐷𝐷𝐀𝐍𝐿 grumbled. Blacksmithing is not learned in a day. Han countered. If they have the will, they will learn. If they cause trouble, tell me. I will break them myself. If you want to learn to hunt, learn from Jenna. For woodworking, go to 𝐿-𝐷𝐀𝐍𝐿. There are ways to survive if you actually try. Finally, the synthesis was complete. Jenna smiled at him. You are surprisingly kind, Han. Han scoffed. Me. You have a weird sense of humor. Jenna continued, "You taught them to survive." Han knew she was right. If they followed him, they wouldn't die like fools. The master was angry. But they would be discarded eventually anyway. The 10th floor is approaching. The real test begins now. The second squad is no longer just filler. Han demands an elite force to rival the first team. Morning light hits the bakery. Chloe presents a fresh batch of bread to a puzzled Han. A new recruit was a baker, Chloe explains. Han takes a bite, pleasantly surprised by the taste. No flour in the stores. Chloe reveals her secret: she crafted these from humble, crushed potatoes. Han nods. Good food lowers stress. A happy waiting room leads to much higher survival rates. Flour might drop in the Highland dungeons, Han notes. Tell the others to scavenge it themselves. Han spots 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐊. To the training grounds. Now. He commands her with cold, unwavering authority. Jenna is drawing her bow. Han stops her. Daggers only. Spar with 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐊. Jenna loudly protests. No more excuses. Jenna sighs and lunges. The dance of lethal steel and speed begins. Jenna's ferocity is overwhelming. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐊 recoils, stunned by the young girl's raw and explosive power. Don't call me a kid, Jenna smirks. I'm older than I look. Now give me everything. Dust settles as 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐊 hits the dirt. She is defeated, gasping for air on the training floor. Mercenaries. A hidden martial clan, 𝐒-𝐑𝐊 asks. How can a hunter's daughter be this strong? Jenna lowers her blade. I was ordinary once. Just a simple girl from a hunter's village. We were weak. Weaker than you. But this place, it forced us to evolve or die. Han enters. If those fools weren't so lazy, I'd have real competition to worry about. 𝐒-𝐶, you're weak now. But your potential. It eclipses these useless one-star failures surrounding us. Level up. Catch us. Your high growth rate will be your greatest weapon very soon. Aaron screams echo nearby. It's a lie. I'm training to death and still falling behind. Han sighs. Your strength is your choice. Work hard or vanish like those before you. Status doesn't matter here. Only results. 𝐒-𝐶 wipes her brow and firmly nods in agreement. The grounds are buzzing now. Survival instinct has finally turned into a burning, desperate motivation. In this brutal world, lack of value is a death sentence. Synthesis awaits the weak. Even support roles aren't safe. If a carpenter fails, they become fodder for the elite. Han watches a young swordsman training hard. Tell me your name, recruit, Han asks. Sweat-soaked Roderick turns. I heard your speech yesterday. I'm ready to prove my worth here. Han tosses a wooden sword. A mercenary porter. Let's see if you can actually fight. Roderick was a shadow of the battlefield, carrying bags, guarding camps, and learning in silence. You have the eyes of a warrior, Han grins. Let's see if your blade matches ambition. Pick up the steel, prove you're a soldier. Roderick doesn't hesitate for a single second. Night falls, the master's cold trials begin. Aaron begs to join, but he is ignored. To synthesized, Roderick survives the process, rising instantly to a powerful level 3. Weekly dungeons continue, but the fire mine remains sealed. Dawn breaks on a new challenge. Why so early? Jenna yawns. The main squad gathers in the biting, cold morning air. Han eyes them. Know why you're here. 𝐷𝐀𝐍𝐿 guesses it's time for the squad selection. Doesn't the master choose? Jenna asks. Han smirks. He won't refuse my special proposal today. Han holds out lots. 6 heroes, 2 teams. We're drawing papers to decide your fate. 𝐷𝐀𝐍𝐿 looks worried. Relax, Han says. 𝐒-𝐶 and I will lead these to new units. Me. 𝐒-𝐶 is shocked. Jenna pouts. What about me, Han? I'm more than ready. Not today. Han is blunt. 𝐒-𝐶 worries about splitting their core strength far too thin. If we lose our elites, we're finished. Han just stares at the horizon, completely unmoved. Floor 5 was a bloody lesson. Huge power gaps invite total annihilation for the weak. One team can clear a floor, but the coming wars will require an entire army. Special missions require hundreds of soldiers. We can't survive on just 5 elites anymore. We build a backup squad now, or we face certain death together very soon. Random summons are over. I hope the master finally understands the ritual's weight. Han shared. Red means you're mine, blue follows edit. Emotions are useless here. We serve one purpose. The lot was cast. Jenna's grin widened dread. Aaron followed suit, securing their fate. At its side. No need for more checks. Their faces screamed confusion. Am I really that unreliable? She teased. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 stammered an excuse, but she cut him off. I know. I'm just a newcomer without scars. Han scanned the field. Objectively, the disparity in their raw power was simply staggering. He offered a sharp grin. Keep up, edit, or the abyss will swallow you whole. She laughed. Don't worry. We won't fall. Suddenly, the system's cold voice echoed across the chamber. Fixed party proposal. Squad 1 Han, Jenna, Aaron. Squad 2 edit, 𝐷𝐀𝐍𝐿, Roderick. In this world, heroes have wills. The master decides obey their intuition or command by force. The 7th floor waited. Objective, eradicate 13 level 8 goblins. Aaron breathed a sigh of relief. Stay back, Han commanded, unsheathing his blade. I'll end this alone. The goblin shrieked and charged. Entering a state of sheer frenzy, his blade became a blur. 12 monsters fell in seconds. Not a single drop of sweat. The last survivor trembled, clutching a broken hilt in terror. Han sheathed his steel. Jenna offered the finishing blow, but Han sensed a deeper hidden objective. Let it flee, he muttered. A lone survivor is more useful to us alive than dead. The investigation began. Rain fell unnaturally. A river flowed where it shouldn't. Something was very wrong. And oh damn, the final piece. Han executed the beast. Is the nightmare over for today? Jenna asked. I'm heading to the bath, Jenna chirped. Aaron, ever the zealot, rushed toward the training grounds. Don't break yourself, Aaron. Suddenly, Han froze. The master was about to do something reckless. A $70 newbie power pack. 5,000 gems and 10,000 gold. The whale had spoken. Han's eyes narrowed. Jenna, fetch my parchment. Aaron, bring Edit here immediately. It's time. Confusion filled the air, but the system chime, purchase successful. The summoning gates began to creak. The gates groan open. New blood is coming, Han declared. High-tier summoning protocol, initiated. 1,000 gems for shots at glory. Han smirked. He knew the master's greedy heart. And pick me up. No one pays to win just once. They pay to conquer everything. The allure lies in the hero's autonomy, watching these digital souls struggle with their own wills. Observing their despair and triumphs during synthesis. It's a sadistic pleasure for any new master. The thrill of the command guiding these puppets through the meat grinder of fate with a click. Strategy becomes survival. The higher they climb, the more complex and cruel this game becomes. Their souls shift. Playing God with these lives, it's intoxicating. Summoning sequence complete. 2 3-star rares emerged, Yonka and Roderick. Where am I? Roderick demanded, voice trembling. Yonka stood frozen in shock. As she stepped forward, she tripped on her own hymn, crashing down. She hit the floor hard. Jenna walked in, blinking. Who's the floor hugger? Is she broken? Leave her, Han sighed. But that outfit, it's unusual. Edit stepped into the light. She's a noblewoman, Edit revealed. Han's eyes widened. A mercenary's instinct never lies. A high-born lady in this hellhole. Strange. Yonka stayed down, face burning with absolute humiliation. Shame glued her to the floor, her face crimson. After the initial shock wore off, reality set in. Roderick grasped the truth. The master, summons, and the dreaded synthesis. But a shadow of doubt remained. Levels and skills were alien to him. He was a guardian, a man sworn to protect a great city. Duty was his only compass, yet his gaze was hollow, like a puppet searching for its strings. I feel compelled. Like a hypnotic trance. Must I spill blood for this nameless cause? Han nodded. In time. But first, we draft, both Edit and I need fresh blades. Blue for Roderick, red for the lady. Han weighed his options, a seasoned veteran or a noble girl. The choice was blindingly obvious. Jenna, he called, his voice cold. Bring me the results. The lots are ready, Jenna chirped. Han's eyes instantly tracked the colors. Red on the right meant blue on the left. Edis saw it too. Damn. Lots placed. Han lunged for the left, desperate to claim the prize. Edis struck simultaneously. Suddenly, 𝐼-𝐞𝐫𝐲's frustration erupted into searing, manifested flames. Fire magic. Both captains gripped the red lot. Han flashed a smirk. Let go. Edis countered, in your dreams, honey. This one's mine. A mudge? Han stared. 𝐼-𝐞𝐫𝐲's status window blazed with lethal potential. Just a preview. Edis insisted, image fits my squad synergy perfectly. Han wouldn't budge. I've never pretended to be the good guy here. Fire and archery, a lethal combo. Warriors are common, but mages. Mages are premium summons. Their drop rates are abysmally low. Stop it. 𝐼-𝐞𝐫𝐲 snapped. I'm a human, not some rare specimen. Jenna realized the trick. Cheaters. I'm reshuffling these right now. Luck alone decides. 𝐼-𝐞𝐫𝐲 remained dazed by the sudden, chaotic atmosphere. Han explained bluntly, we're deciding your fate. You're quite slow, aren't you? My fate. I was just dragged into this complete hellscape. Roderick whispered caution. Think. They see us as mere tools, 𝐼-𝐞𝐫𝐲. The grim truth dawned. 𝐼-𝐞𝐫𝐲's expression turned to deathly, pale white. Treated like toys, Roderick sighed. Jenna prepared the final, fair draw. No cheating. Let destiny decide our path fairly this time. Luck is never fair, Han grumbled. Jenna silenced the captain instantly. No grudges, Edis. Just pull the damn lot, Han. Play fair. Breath held. Han drew red. A triumphant grin crossed his face. 𝐼-𝐞𝐫𝐲 was his. Roderick was destined for squad to his ranks instead. ISU dragged a victim forward. You promised we would live. Shut up. ISU roared. Newmage, get your ass over here now. He's useless. 𝐼-𝐞𝐫𝐲, move. Don't look back at the weak failures. Enter or end up like these scraps. Synthesis began without mercy. Fall behind and you're next. There is no escaping the synthesis. Struggle or die. ISU shoved another sacrifice into the dark abyss. How brutal, Roderick muttered. Han pointed. Your necks. Use them. Synthesis finish. ISU tore open a shimmering, unstable time rift. Testing your worth. Team 2 was ordered into the flickering void. You're the lead, Roderick. He bowed, accepting his grim, new role. They vanished. Han turned to Yonka. List your combat spells now. Why bother? She spat. Han's gaze sharpened. Just answer the question. Why fight? Because you're a 3-star hero. Act like one. Fighting without reason. It's insulting. Yonka's noble pride was wounded. Your reason is survival, fight, or become fuel for the others. Terror filled her eyes. Han's gaze was cold as a grave. Level 3 fire ring, she whispered, her arrogance finally shattered. Anything else? Teleportation? Buffs? Han demanded more tactical data. Support. I'm a fire mage. Don't ask for the impossible, Han. Han sighed in disappointment. So, you're just a one-trick pony? Just wait. You'll beg for my flames when things get real. Prepare to be amazed. No support spell can even compare. Han shot her a skeptical look, doubting her words. She better be as good as she claims. A flexible defense is always more reliable than pure aggression. Even as a fire-type battle mage, there's a chance she's awakened other hidden skills during her journey. But she doesn't look it. A mage is still just a mage, after all. Listen up, Han repeated firmly. From now on, you fight with us, got it? Yonka looked incredibly reluctant, hesitation written all over her face. Fine, I get it. Ever fought monsters before? Of course. They call me the legendary witch of RVL. Team to finish their trial, exiting with triumphant smiles. Han wondered why they settled for such a low level. Was it just to test their power? Roderick seemed far stronger than Edit had anticipated. Han turned to his squad. It's our turn now. Gear up. Yo announced. Group 1 prepared to dive into the spatial rift. Han smirked. Let's move. Their mission. Conquer the 4th floor. Scale the tower. And save the world. Han felt confident. Floor 4 was the logical choice as higher levels remained locked. It was the perfect stage to test her. Harpies and goblins awaited them there. I need to see exactly how she wields her fire magic in battle. Han casually informed Yonka. Once we start, we'll just watch. Let's see what you're truly capable of. Yonka gasped. What? Any of the 3 of us could solo this entire floor alone. Han explained coldly. Scared because of your low level. You promised to amaze me with your magic, didn't you? Yonka hissed. I will. Because I'm special. Special how? She pointed at him. Just shut up and watch. At the gate, the countdown began. 10 seconds until deployment. Get ready. Good luck to everyone, especially Han. Seeing Yo's face, Han sensed something was wrong. He checked the mission log and cursed. That damn master. That lunatic sent them to the 8th floor, a completely uncharted zone. Han immediately tightened the formation. Heads up. Draw your weapons. Stay sharp. The air grew heavy with tension. Wait, weren't we going to the 4th floor? You said we'd just watch. Why are we on floor 8 suddenly? Confusion turned into pure, heart-pounding panic. Shut it, Han roared. Is that bastard still petty about the 3-star general I killed last time? Talk about holding a grudge. He's definitely trying to screw us over. Or maybe he thinks floor 4 is boring. A blue light enveloped them, dumping them into the 8th floor. Jenna scanned the perimeter, her eyes narrowing. I've seen this before, Jenna muttered. Suddenly, Han screamed, get back. But Yonka stood there, paralyzed with fear. Before she could react, Han tackled her to the ground. Move, damn it. An arrow whistled past, cutting the air. Han gritted his teeth, checking the mission. Objective, total annihilation. Target, 27 mounted enemies in total. Nearly 30 level 9 goblin riders. This was a disaster. In an instant, the squad was completely surrounded. Jenna, fire at will. Han commanded, his jaw tight. The uneven terrain was working against them. He turned to Aaron. Dodge as they close in, then counterattack. Can you do it? I'll try my best. Aaron replied firmly. Han went to instruct Yonka, but a sudden arrow forced him to raise his shield. Behind him, another threat lunged. A blade swept through the air. Han ducked low, swinging his own sword in a deadly arc that severed the beast. No time to breathe, another monster lunged, its blade grazing Han's face. He barely dipped his head in time. He evaded the lethal strike, but the demon wolves were already upon him. Han struggled to block their ferocious assault. Aaron, his comrade, surged forward, his spear impaling both beast and rider. Yonka, cast your spell now, Han roared. She just stared blankly, frozen in shock. Han's blood boiled. Was she really this useless in a real fight? Don't make me repeat myself. You're a mage, so kill them, Yonka stammered. I need time to chant. How long? 1 minute. Then start your damn mouth. Don't wait for an invitation. Han lashed out, fighting desperately. Han cut down enemies while shouting commands. Finally, Yonka closed her eyes and began her incantation. Fire surged around her. Magic circles glowed. Aaron, block those arrows. Jenna, provide cover fire. Han screamed over the chaos. Aaron spun his spear into a whirlwind, parrying every projectile. Han noticed the goblins shifting their focus. They were targeting the mage. They were swarming Yonka. Han intercepted the front line, but there were too many to hold back alone. This was becoming a nightmare. He needed defensive magic. Yonka, can you set up some mana shields? She didn't respond, her mind locked in her chant. Jenna watched in horror as the enemies drew closer. You're going to get killed. Han growled in frustration. Forget the shields, they were completely out of time. She can't even move while casting. The mage is a sitting duck. Goblins charging. The onslaught is relentless. Wolf riders swarm one after another. The waves only grow more violent. The wounded beasts grow frenzied. Han plunges into the fray regardless of pain. He slaughters every wave. Aaron's warning screams through the air. Goblins leap at Han, ready to tear him apart. Death is closing in. Yonka remains oblivious, deep in her chant. She's blind to the danger. A blade aims for her head. Han blinks forward, snatching the girl away. They vanish just in time. What are you doing? She shrieks. You're casting in the open without cover. Han roars. Yonka's frustration boils over. She's at her limit. I'm converting mana into an inferno, she snaps. Han sighs and drags the team toward the trees. Move out, head straight for that forest. They sprint for their lives as the horde pursues. What if they block us again? Jenna cries. Just get there first. Han shouts back in desperation. Once inside, unleash your magic on our trail. Yonka whines about her bruised arm as they run. The goblins are breathing down their necks. They won't stop until they kill. There. An entrance. Jenna shouts. The plains meet the thick forest edge. Get inside now. Han commands the stubborn mage. She keeps bickering about his loud tone. Why are you shouting at me? She's totally clueless. Han kicks her into the safety of the woods. Logic doesn't matter if you're dead. He turns back alone. Han stands his ground to cover them. Big brother, come inside, Jenna pleads. It's too dangerous. Wait there. I'm coming. Han triggers his berserk state once again. Crimson energy erupts. Twice in one day, his body screams. But he must buy them precious seconds. The toll is heavy. A bloody aura surrounds Han. He charges headfirst into the goblin line. Bloodlust fills the air. Arrows thud against his heavy shield. A wolf rider strikes with blinding speed. Han barely stands his ground. He dances through the rain of steel, dodging left and right in a desperate struggle for survival. The pressure is suffocating. He grinds his teeth against the relentless tide. He can't keep this up. They aren't just scouting, they're hunting him. A spearman lunges with lethal intent. Han sees his chance. Han leaps into a zigzagging strike. He cleaves both beast and rider into pure destruction. I'll strip away your prideful mobility. He becomes a whirlwind of death. Every strike finds its mark. He misses the shadow creeping behind. Aaron's warning comes too late. Sharp claws pin Han down. The berserk state finally flickers out. He's back to normal and vulnerable. The system warning blares. A spear aims straight for his skull. Han thrusts his blade into the wolf's gullet. A desperate counter. The beast agony throws the strike off. But more wolves are closing in for the kill. I'll stop them, Aaron shouts. Stay back. I'm the bait. Han yells. Don't ruin the plan. Hold the line and focus on the survivors. He draws the entire swarm toward himself. Timing is everything. Is she still chanting? Han fumes. This mage is a massive liability. Finally, a signal. It's ready. Get out of there. Han blinks away at top speed. He's gone in a flash. Pursuers are inches away. He kicks a goblin back into the crowd. The path is clear. He clears the trajectory for the fireball. Yonka's eyes snap open. Incinerate. The world turns red. An inferno erupts, consuming the horde. Han watches the massive firepower in awe. Truly impressive destruction. The wall of flame turns monsters to ash. Jenna and Aaron stare in total disbelief. Is this magic? Shadows move within the dying flames. Survivors, cover her, Han orders. The fight isn't over yet. A powerful foe strikes through the smoke. Steel clashes against steel, throwing sparks. Han is pushed back. Damn it. I'm exhausted. If strength fails, he must rely on pure skill. He focuses his mind. He parries the heavy blade aside. The monster stumbles forward, completely off balance. Now is the time. A shield bash crushes the monster's skull, but an assassin lurks in the blind spot. A hidden blade. An arrow pierces the threat. Han turns to see Jenna's smug smile. I'm pretty good too, right? Aaron's spear finds a wolf's throat. The beast falls in an instant. If you're tired, I'll take over. The team stands united. The counterattack begins now. They won't back down. Han smirked with arrogance. Goblins surged, but Jenna flipped gracefully. She targeted the head, striking deep. They tumbled off together. The horde swarmed Yonka, sensing her vulnerability during her chant. Oblivious to danger, she prayed. A wolf's maw gaped nearby. A whizzing arrow struck. Jenna gasped. That was too close. Yonka, wake up, she screamed. Yonka held high a flickering flame. Desperation set in. Suddenly, Yonka's eyes snapped wide open. Inferno blazed in her gaze. Eren, run! Han roared. Power surged, a blinding pillar of light incinerated the horde. Flames expanded rapidly, earth-shattering explosions tore the ground apart. Han dove for cover, shield raised against the raining shrapnel. We nearly died. Han panted as the deadly storm subsided. Climbing up, he surveyed the smoke. Is it finally over? One survivor remained. Annihilate, Yonka whispered with divine authority. A firestorm erupted. Jenna clung to a tree for life. The vortex pulverized everything. The last goblin vanished into ash. Hell had arrived. Amidst the scorched earth, Yonka stood silent. Han stood speechless. Such devastating power was beyond mortal imagination. The blast zone looked like ground zero of a nuclear strike. Stage cleared. Yonka claimed MVP as they vanished into base. 20 knights dead instantly. Is this true magic? Jenna wondered. Yonka laughed. Behold the absolute peak of my destructive flames. I warned you. I am the legendary mage of RVL. But then, she collapsed. The team froze in total shock. Mana exhaustion, her nose bled from the massive energy drain. Han reflected. She was a sitting duck during her incantations. Without protection, she's helpless. Her physical stats are bottom tier. She's a glass cannon. I've never seen such fragility before. A rare specimen indeed. Powerful yet dangerously weak in defense. She's like a siege cannon without any wheels or armor. All firepower, zero mobility. A terrifying weapon with no defense. Han smiled. She's strong. We just need to protect her. Our formation was perfecting. The next day, I logged in. I built the magic research lab to unlock ancient upgrades. Next, an alchemy lab arose for synthesizing rare, powerful artifacts. The library was finished, allowing mages to master hidden knowledge. These structures fused into a majestic and powerful magic citadel. Why me? Yonka panted. A high-tier mage shouldn't do cardio. This is barbaric. I use my brain, not my legs. Han chuckled. Keep whining and you'll only eat potatoes tonight. Meat is for workers. Yonka fumed at Han's cold logic. Chanting won't save her if she can't dodge a blade. Faster, Han commanded. Yonka's eyes brimmed with exhausted tears. Stop whining. On the battlefield, endurance is your only lifeline. And that outfit is impractical. Dress for war, not fashion. Behold my clan's secret art magic artifacts designed to amplify destructive fire spells. Just look at the gown Yonka is wearing. It was originally a custom artifact forged by the family specifically for her. But look at her now. Stamina training. This is a walk in the park. 3 laps a day without weighted bags is child's play. Compared to my usual hellish routine, I could write an entire essay on how easy today's workout actually is. Yonka's face goes pale as she gasps for air. I don't need this demonic training, Han. Han ignores her and blazes ahead, playing his trump card. Looks like Yonka only wants potatoes for dinner. Should I tell Chloe? Curious, Yonka charges after him. Han glances up at the watchful eye in the sky that observer. He does nothing but watch. But I admit, the view is quite entertaining. The 10th floor is finally within our reach. Luck is on our side. With the mage finally in our ranks, the magic castle has been successfully unlocked. Thanks to yesterday's dungeon sweeps, we've secured all 3 types of essential materials for the entire week. Our stockpiled resources are waiting in the warehouse for my command. It's time to craft some high-grade consumables. With the logistics settled, the system sends a final notification. Master has logged out of the game. Han leaves the training grounds, giving Jenna one final order. Don't let Yonka slack off. Jenna takes over, pushing Yonka to her limits. Meanwhile, Han begins the high-level task of potion crafting. Usually, this requires an alchemist, but just like weapon forging, Han can use minigames to bypass the requirements. Han enters the newly constructed level 1 magic castle and takes a moment to survey his new domain. He examines the specialized class manuals, though they remain unreadable for now. Time to start the brewing process. He grabs a handful of rare ingredients and drops them into the vial. The real challenge begins now. The crafting minigame is a test of rhythm for a pro gamer like Han. This is absolute child's play. His fingers move with lightning speed. Success notifications flood the screen as the shelves fill with potent elixirs. It's proven, a pro gamer can master any craft, whether it's blacksmithing or divine alchemy. Even Io is left speechless by his skill. Han counts the haul, 6 healing potions and 2 mana restoratives. Hoarding items is a death sentence. It's far better to use them than to die with a full inventory. Later, Han summons Eren and Jenna to discuss the new strategy. Our squad finally has a mage. They nod in grim realization. No more gambles. Then Han presents a glowing, red-hot brazier. Without warning, he plunges his hand into the searing coals. Watch closely. This is what we must do. The 2 stare in absolute horror, frozen in place. Boss, have you completely lost your mind? Han grinds his teeth against the agonizing heat. If Yonka is our fire wielder, we must become immune to the flames. The seconds tick by as they watch him like he's a monster. The air is thick with the scent of burning. At the 10-second mark, he pulls back. His scorched flesh begins to knit together and heal instantly. It's as if the fire never touched him. The waiting room will restore us to full health anyway, Han explains. Yonka will be unleashing hell on the battlefield. If we aren't conditioned to that intense heat, we'll be roasted to a crisp before the enemy even touches us. Jenna trembles, her voice shaking with fear. So, you're making us do this too? Aaron breaks into a cold sweat. How long do we have to endure this? Han's reply is cold. Until you can. They realize the madness ahead. They must build fire resistance through sheer, agonizing willpower. Reading their thoughts, Han reminds them, think back to the 5th floor. Remember the cost of being unprepared. Aaron steals his resolve and reaches for the coals, but Han stops him. Not here in the open. Find somewhere private. I'm not a sadist who enjoys watching you scream. This was just a demonstration. Aaron nods, but Jenna is still defiant. I'm a long-range attacker. I don't need this. Han's smile turns chillingly predatory as he grabs her wrist. Is that what you think? Let's do it together then. It won't hurt as much if I'm holding your hand, right? Jenna screams like a banshee, struggling to pull away. Will you run away every time she casts a spell? She's vulnerable while chanting. If we can't stand the heat to protect her, our entire party dies. If we cannot protect our rear line, everything falls apart. If Han snapped, you always act like such a know-it-all. Her path leads only to a cold grave. She couldn't even evade a snail's strike if it came for her. Unless you want to waste the mage we were lucky to get, then master this fire resistance skill before we reach floor 10. I'll be learning it too. Jenna sighed in relief, but the thought of enduring pain made her hesitate. Han ignored her and drew a sharp dagger. He looked at Aaron. Sorry, but you have a choice to make. Han spun the blade and drove it straight through his own hand. He glared at Aaron. Well, your turn. Though he suppressed a scream, the raw agony made Han groan. You don't have to copy me exactly, he said. Find your own way to endure. He handed the dagger to Aaron. This will help you build your tolerance. Han knew it would be brutal, but necessary. While healing potions restore health, they always bring agonizing pain if you want to fight while being healed. Mastering pain tolerance is absolutely non-negotiable. Jenna trembled. No way, do I have to do that too? She asked, her voice shaking with pure terror. Not you, Han replied. Jenna sighed, but his next words dragged her from heaven straight back to hell. But eventually, you'll have to learn to embrace the pain. Jenna broke into a cold sweat. Let me go last? Han cut her off. You will learn the switch. Jenna blinked, confused. Han explained the grueling task ahead. Practice until you can swap between your bow and short sword instantly. You must dominate at any range. Jenna hesitated. But I'm far more skilled with a bow than a blade. Han's gaze turned icy and stern. Change that now. We're scrapping the old formations. From this moment on, we move in a lethal triangle. Ivanka will be our core, the primary damage dealer. Our true training begins at dawn tomorrow. It didn't suit her, but Han and Aaron alone couldn't shield Ivanka. Jenna had to hold one side. Jenna pondered. This princess protection strategy was extreme, but they had no choice if they wanted to win. To maximize Ivanka's potential, they needed this. In this game, the dual mage system reigned supreme. It would be better with a support mage for shields and healing, but for now, they had to adapt. Floor 9 was coming, but they might stall. That floor could be given to the second team for experience. Han returned to his room, deep in thought. As long as the chain quest remained, one team wasn't enough. If a member falls, there's no replacement. Developing sub-parties is common sense. The master surely knows this. Subjugation, survival, escort, breakthrough, the hints were clear. Floor 10 would be a brutal turning point. It's a cooperative floor requiring at least 2 teams. Being a co-op mission means the danger is doubled. It will be far more harrowing than anything they faced. Laziness is a luxury they cannot afford. Han grabbed a bucket of water and coal, then bit down on a towel. The self-torture was about to begin. He plunged his hand into the searing flames. Again and again, the fire hissed against his skin. The burning sensation turned to a dull numbness. Finally, a notification flashed. Fire resistance skill acquired. Morning broke with Ivanka's piercing scream. You want me to do what? She shrieked in total disbelief. Han remained calm. What's the problem? Right now, you're nothing but dead weight to this party. You must master casting speed reduction and mana efficiency. Every second counts in a real fight. Ivanka fumed. How dare you insult me? Han narrowed his eyes, his killing intent flickering. Got a problem? She had no choice. Gritting her teeth, she turned away. Fine, I'll do it. Are you happy now? Her fire magic followed a 3-tier structure. First, flame creation. Second, the explosive combustion. The third tier unleashed a vertical pillar of destruction. The more tiers she added, the more mana it drained. The power was immense, but it required relentless practice to master the complex flow of energy. Han approached Jenna. Let's move. As they neared floor 10, The training intensity reached a fever pitch. From dawn until dusk, they pushed their limits. Jenna drew her bow. All right, here I come. Han swung his sword, parrying the arrow perfectly. He had stopped using his shield long ago. This training is making you a monster, Jenna noted. Your progress is becoming terrifyingly fast. Han didn't flinch. Save the praise for after we survive. He deflected another lethal shot aimed at his skull. A system message chimed. Han had mastered the parry skill. His beginner's sword and shield reached level 6. He had finally obtained the power he sought. The real battle was just around the corner. Jenna lunged, her dagger flashing. Han swayed back, the blade slicing only air. Mid-action, she gripped the steel between her teeth. She drew her bow, aiming with predator eyes. Han smirked. She hadn't awakened yet, but his blade reached her throat first. Cold steel touched her neck. Han praised her. Jenna beamed. Despite her 1-star rank, her growth potential was an absolute anomaly. Without his veteran knowledge, she would have surpassed him long ago. Her learning speed was simply monstrous for a rookie hero. Who said no praise during training? She teased. Han pinched her cheek, masking his rising frustration with a heavy sigh. He wanted to scold her, but standard 1-stars were just like Eren, limited by their basic nature and stagnant growth rates. Eren had hit a wall with level 3 spear mastery. He stayed cooped up, desperately grinding pain and fire resistance alone. Yonka was perfecting her spells at the magic castle. Even with reduced firepower, her magic was reaching terrifyingly lethal levels. She only needed a fraction of her power to dominate. Meanwhile, the training ground filled with useless 1-star summon trash. Parties remained incomplete, yet the master refused to recruit. His cold intentions were becoming painfully clear to every veteran here. He saw them as free resources to be sacrificed. The next day, Edith's team crawled back from the abyss, broken. They barely survived floor 9. Roderick helped the wounded. Han stepped forward. Tough run? What kind of hell was in there? A goblin village. 50 monsters, Edith grunted. Han pressed for details. Was there anything unusual about the location's terrain? Edith thought for a moment, eyes clouded. The ground. It was a muddy swamp, as if a sudden downpour hit. A muddy swamp? Han pondered the trap. Before he could analyze, 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 announced it was finally their turn to fight. They cleared floor 4 with ease. Han watched his team, realizing they had hit their current level growth ceiling. At level 10 and 8, they were maxed out for now. They had squeezed every drop of power from floors. Their gear was reinforced. Rank E leather became rank D with metal plates. They were as ready as they'd ever be. Han and Eren took short swords as sidearms. 2 rookies joined, though they lacked any real combat spark or talent. Floor 10 loomed ahead. That night, 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 appeared, buzzing with excitement. Ready for the next trial, Loki. Can you predict it? You've predicted everything so far, right? Han sighed. I'm a veteran player, 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿, not some omniscient god of this world. Stop the useless talk. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 laughed, reminding him of his status as the legendary top ranker in the game's history. Top ranker? Han smiled bitterly. 2 years of hell only got him to floor 88 before a total party wipe. Random traps and cruel RNG slaughtered his team. Pro players only progress by surviving their many failures and learning. But this master hadn't tasted defeat yet. He didn't understand the true cost of a single tactical mistake or greed. If the master failed now, it would be Han's death. Morning brought a heavy, suffocating tension to the town square. The square was packed. Yonka looked around, confused. Why are they here? Did that brat call this many people? The summons is coming soon, Han warned. Yonka scoffed at his know-it-all attitude. Han didn't care about her pride. The master had been logged in for 30 minutes. He was hesitating. Was he afraid of floor 10's crushing difficulty? Han needed 1 more week to max their skills for safety, but fate had other plans for them today. The notification light flared to life on the board. The master had finally made his fateful, irreversible choice to proceed. A spatial rift tore open, pulsing with dark energy. This was no longer just a simple game simulation for them. For the master, it's a simulation. For us, it's reality. If we die, he'll just replace us with more fodder. Han turned to the trembling rookie, Suran. When the battle starts, don't try to be a hero. Just hide. Find a hole and stay out of sight. Suran could only nod in sheer terror as the gate opened wide. Han ignored her jab. He calculated that the master had been logged in for 30 minutes without giving an order. Is he hesitating, or is he planning to conquer floor 10 already? The silence from above was deafening. The rookies were still green, and I had hit my current ceiling. Level 10 for a 1-star hero. But my skills weren't fully mastered yet. Something was missing. If I had 1 more week to train, I could have pushed my abilities to the limit. We would have entered floor 10 with an overwhelming advantage. Reality crashed down as the notification light glowed. This did not fit the master's usual patterns. 𝐒-𝐑𝐍𝐿 appeared, tearing open a rift in space. Han stared at the gateway. This is our life, not a game. To the master, we are just pixels. If we die, he will simply summon more disposable heroes to take our place. Han turned to the newcomer. Suran, when the battle starts, find a place to hide. Do not look back. Suran looked confused, but the wheel of fate was already turning. Team Da had officially joined the fray. I can handle a level 3 warrior, but a level 1 rookie, he'll just be dead weight. If only we had one more week to train. Suddenly, a notification cuts through my thoughts. Warning, high difficulty challenge. To teams required. Use high rank summons or tactical support to fill slots. Tactical room tip. Deploy strategic buffs to active heroes. Han frowns. The tactical room system is too complex for a beginner like him. Shaking it off, Han barks orders to his team. He commands you to gear up from storage. As you scrolls, a new red alert flashes. Master, unused items detected. Equip your heroes now. They will use them when things get dire. Craft gear in the forge or magic castle. Materials drop from daily dungeons. Don't waste them. Items are lifelines. To become a veteran player, you must master every resource at your disposal. Han runs the numbers. 6 health and mana potions, 3 for each squad. Perfect, balanced distribution. Mana goes to Yonka. Han turns to Edis with a smirk. Ready for your last rites. Edis laughs. A last wish. Save the drama for someone else, you mouth-breathing idiot. Han turns serious. Edis, we might get separated. If so, regroup at the center immediately. How, she asks. Han points toward the skyline. Climb high. Use the landmarks to navigate. Yu suddenly explodes, barking at the others. Don't you dare slow me down. I'm watching you. Han sighs. Let them breathe, yo. You'll look stunned. Seriously, Han just nods firmly. Don't worry. We're clearing floor 10 together. They step inside, only to find a man sobbing. We're doomed, he wails. Everyone, men, women, children, we're all going to die. No one escapes. Han loses his patience and delivers a swift kick. The man hits the floor, startled and silent. Who's there? The man stammers. Han stares. Who is this idiot? Is he a ghost? Jenna shrugs. Maybe he can't see us. She waves. Hey, mister. Can you hear me? Han realizes the truth. He's an NPC, just another useless script in this twisted, cruel game. Why are NPCs always so brain-dead? Suddenly, the thunder of marching boots echoes through the streets. A troop of soldiers rushes past. Han looks around. The city. It feels unnervingly familiar. Aaron nods. Boss, this place, we've been here. The architecture, the layout, it's the same. Han's eyes widen. Floor 5. The ruined city. But this time, it hasn't fallen yet. Jenna gasps. Wait, is the timeline broken? Everything is different. It's so much the same. Forget the timeline, Han snaps. We're here now. To survive, we have to finish the mission. The mission hasn't started. We need intel. 5 minutes. Han commands. Scout and report back. The team vanishes into the streets. Han scales a high bell tower to survey the field. The view is grim. Below, a soldier trembles in terror. Their morale has already hit rock bottom. To the north, the forest crawls with life. Thousands of goblins are massing for a bloodbath. System alert: 2,213 goblins detected. Levels, currently unknown. No siege engines yet. That's a relief. To the east, hundreds more lurk by the river. Han looks at the garrison. 353 human souls against an endless tide. Outnumbered 10 to 1. No, it's worse. This is a suicide mission by any standard logic. But if it's a survival quest, we have a chance. We just need to outlast them. We have meat shields, NPCs, and an area of effect mage to hold the line. The wheel of destiny turns. Team 2 is joined. It's time to face the coming storm. Han approaches his team. Edis. The mission is, he's cut off by a piercing, crimson alarm. Red warnings flood his vision. 1, 2, 3. A high difficulty alert like never before. Floor 10, target defense. Protect the city from collapse. If the city falls, we all die. Han approached his comrade Edit. Before he could speak, 3 blood-red warning windows erupted in the air. Han froze. The alarm blared 3 times. High difficulty alert. This wasn't supposed to happen so soon. Mission, floor 10. Objective, target defense. Protect the city from total collapse against the invading horde. Damn it, Han hissed. This isn't survival, it's a brutal siege defense. 10 heroes and 350 NPCs against thousands. The odds are suicide. Han gathers the squad, sharing every scrap of intel for the final plan. Jenna reports first. The citizens are like ghosts. They won't even look at us. We can touch them, but they can't see us. We're invisible phantoms. Aaron's news is worse. The north and east gates are already under fire. With no exit south or west, we're cornered rats in a stone cage. If those outer walls crumble, every soul here will be slaughtered. Edith's voice trembles as she asks for orders. Han's answer. Pure defense. Our mission is to shield this city from the green tide at all cost. Exterminate every single goblin. Edith's heart sinks. That's impossible. Roderick suggests a tactical retreat, a guerrilla war from the shadows. Han shakes his head. Total annihilation is the only win condition here. Suddenly, a soldier points to the sky. The bell tower is erupting in light. The goddess statue a beacon that only appears in high-stakes special missions. If that statue falls, it's game over. The goblins aren't our only priority. Kill thousands and protect a fragile relic. Roderick's mind reels at the stakes. Make no mistake, Han warns. If we fail this mission, we all die. Tension thickens like smoke. Even if we escape the city, Roderick asks. Han nods grimly. There are no exceptions. Failure means absolute death. Yet, in this twisted game, even the impossible has a hidden solution. The goblin horde is massive, but their siege gear is primitive and limited. Only the north has towers. If we hold there, we buy ourselves time. Edit's squad is deployed to the north wall. Support the NPC defense lines. Sabotage their ladders. Hold the ramparts. Edit stares back unimpressed. That's it. You're sending 5 of us into that meat grinder? 5 more people won't stop a tide of thousands. The math doesn't work. Han knows she's right. Team's power is their only real wild card. Ladders are their only way in. If you block them, the wall is invincible. Defend the bottleneck, and our survival rate jumps through the roof. Edit shakes her head. Buying time won't kill 10,000 monsters, Han. I know, he admits. Even combined, we can't win a war of attrition. Eventually, the gates will buckle. The numbers are just too overwhelming. A 1 to 10 disadvantage. It's a calculation of certain doom. Han remembers floor 5. These monsters don't know the word retreat. A direct win is impossible, but the game always leaves a hidden trail. He recalls the broken dam from floor 7, the raging, violent currents. Every level from 5 to 9 was a hint. The flooding wasn't an accident. The eastern dam is the key. But why here? Why now? Frustration boils. He needs more info. He clenches his fist in rage. Wait, Jenna cries out. I heard something. The thunder of hooves. Shadows of cavalry moving through the dark forest. The missing piece of fate. Han's eyes blaze. He pinches Jenna's cheek. Why didn't you say so sooner? Edit. Buy us time. If the walls fall, use anything as a shield. Barricade the inner sanctum. Hold out until we bring the hammer down. I refuse to show weakness while others bleed. Hold the line. We'll survive this together. Jenna doubted the simple plan. Was that it? What are we supposed to do, Han? Han's logic was cold and sharp. No wasted words. Pack your gear. We move now. Aaron trembled with fear. Commanding a retreat, there are thousands of monsters out there. Han countered, stay and die, or move and live. This place is already a tomb. The 7th floor dam is gone. If Jenna heard hoofbeats, reinforcements are likely cut off. The 5th floor city fell because the broken dam turned the river into a nightmare. Our mission is clear. Breach the east gate, slaughter the goblins, and save the dam. Jenna froze as the weight of fate hit her. Han unsheathed his blade, eyes glowing. Time to gamble everything. At the gate, a sea of refugees surged forward in panic. Commander screamed for order. Into the castle, line up. Don't you dare push. Han's party fought through the desperate crowd. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 glanced back at the growing chaos. This is just the start, Han warned. The real hell is waiting outside those walls. They reached the final threshold. Jenna, scout the walls. Aaron, prepare to open the gate. 𝐒-𝐑𝐿, channel your mana. Strike the moment it opens. Han's gaze locked onto Suron. Aaron pulled the mechanism. To the soldiers, the gate seemed moved by a ghost's hand. The gate's opening. Are the goblins inside? Stop it. Close it now. The guards panic. Soldiers rush the invisible Aaron. It's moving on its own. Cease this madness immediately. From above, Jenna's scream pierced the air. The horde is here. Thousands of them. Doesn't matter. Down now. Han roared. 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿's flames will carve our path to victory. Han struck down any soldier in their way. Is this sorcery a demon's work? As they charged Aaron, Jenna tripped them with a smirk. No need for more blood. Magic began to swirl. 𝐒-𝐑𝐿's incantation set the very air on fire. It was time. An arrow hissed through the gap. Han snatched it midair with lethal, inhuman precision. Goblins lurked in the shadows, their eyes gleaming with the hunger of 1,000 predators. Han hurled the arrow back, skewering a monster's skull. Jenna kept the perimeter secure. A ghost? A soldier cried before Jenna's kick sent him crashing into the dirt. Then a heavy rain began to fall. Han looked at 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿. Will the rain kill your fire? She simply smirked in defiance. The gate finally groaned open. A tide of green monsters surged forward like a flood. Incinerate them, Han commanded. A massive fireball erupted, turning the front line to ash. Burn the monsters, not the gate, Han yelled as the earth shook from the blast. The path was cleared by fire. Move, now, Han ordered, leading them into the fray. Jenna and Aaron sprinted into the smoke. We're gone. Don't let the fire catch you. Han handed 𝐒-𝐑𝐀𝐍𝐿 potion, drink. We have a long, bloody night ahead of us. She downed it instantly. Who do you think I am? I've got 100 more. Han turned to the trembling Suron. Still want to follow, or have you lost heart? The system signaled Suran's terror. All stats down 30%. He was paralyzed. Fine at it. If you survive this, I'll train you. Suran fled back into the city. The gates slammed shut behind them. The path back was gone. No more retreat. Only one way left, Han muttered, his killing intent rising. Forward, through their corpses. Formation, Han took the lead, protecting the mage as they entered the Goblin Sea. Keep the flames wide. Don't let them surround us. The rain hammered their armor. Tension peaked. 20 seconds left, Han counted. Suddenly, a shadow leapt from above. The countdown to slaughter had ended. The true battle for survival was finally beginning. Han's blade descended like a guillotine, bisecting a goblin instantly. Every heartbeat marked another fallen foe as the trio pushed forward. His comrades formed a living shield, buying time for Yonka's incantation. Seconds felt like centuries while the green tide surged forward. The onslaught was relentless, giving them no room to breathe. Cut down one, and 3 more lunged into the fray. These monsters knew no fear, their bloodlust only growing as the carnage escalated. The final moments of the countdown arrived. Han roared orders to switch positions and guard Yonka's vision. Then, the first spell ignited a massive pillar of fire. Goblins shrieked, writhing in the inferno as Han commanded a desperate breakthrough. They had to move before the flames died. Intense heat scorched his armor, but Han gritted his teeth and endured. Having Yonka's magic was their only saving grace. The heavy rain threatened to quench their fiery wall. Han barked a new command for Yonka to begin her next chant. Aaron took the right flank while Han prepared to solo the front. Another 20-second countdown began amidst the storm. Blood and rain mixed in a chaotic dance of steel. At the final second, the flames erupted once more as they advanced. Using the fire as a makeshift shield, they carved a path toward the river. But beyond the light, a nightmare waited. A massive goblin legion stood ready in the darkness. Atop a jagged cliff, the goblin lord watched in a crimson cloak. With a blood-red banner fluttering nearby, the lord's eyes burned with malice. His jagged fangs glistened under the moonlight. He unsheathed the massive dragon-slaying blade, let out a guttural roar, and vowed to level the entire fortress to ash. Yonka's magic flared again, incinerating the front line. Han seized the opening, screaming for his team to press the attack. Suddenly, a hidden demon lunged through the smoke with a spear. Han barely evaded the lethal strike, his heart racing. He countered instantly, driving his blade into the creature's throat. Han realized the enemy's patterns had shifted. They were getting smarter. Despite the scorching flames, the goblins did not flinch. They threw themselves into the fire just to reach the group. Han leaped into the air, clearing a path through the vanguard. He spotted the leader barking orders from the high ground. The Lord had realized Yonka's magic had a cooldown. He was forcing his minions to exploit that small window of vulnerability. If this continued, they would be overrun. The monster had deciphered their strategy, turning the tide of battle against them. Curse his intelligence, Aaron and Jenna were holding on, but their endurance was reaching its absolute limit in this chaos. Oxygen was thinning as the surrounding fire consumed the air. Their resistance gear only delayed the inevitable heat stroke. Han unleashed a flurry of strikes and shouted for a huddle. Listen carefully, because we only have one shot at this. They could not afford to lose now. Aaron looked worried, asking what kind of crazy gamble Han was planning this time. Han glared at the Goblin Lord, declaring his intent to tear that monster apart. The Lord sensed the shift in focus. Recognizing Yonka as the core of their power, the Lord sent a specialized squad to eliminate the mage. The goblins hesitated briefly before charging through the fire. Han intercepted them with a devastating kick, sending one flying. Jenna picked off another while Han checked on Yonka. Her chant was finally complete. It was time for retribution. Burn them. A violent wave of fire erupted, forcing the monsters to recoil in terror as the heat intensified. Han shielded his eyes from the blinding glare. One blast was not enough to end this nightmare. But they were not done. Yonka unleashed her second-tier spell. The Goblin Lord's eyes widened as a series of explosive blasts rocked his position. Aaron raised his shield to protect Jenna as she drew her bow. She aimed directly at the Lord's exposed heart. Yonka collapsed from mana exhaustion, but Han caught her instantly. He knew the toll her magic took on her. He told her to stay silent and rest. No matter how powerful the magic, the sheer numbers were still overwhelming. If they stayed trapped, death was certain. However, Han realized the goblins' true objective was not their small party. They were just pebbles in the road. The army's real target was the fortress. Would they continue to waste lives here? Without a leader to guide them, the Horde's next move was unpredictable. Suddenly, the entire army turned away from them. The goblins ignored Han's team, charging toward the fortress instead. The group bolted for the river, desperate for safety. Finally reaching the bank, they collapsed, gasping for air. We actually made it out alive, Han panted heavily. Aaron slumped down, noting the goblins were too focused on the fort to bother chasing them any further. Yonka grumbled about Han's rough handling while Jenna shuddered, admitting she truly thought her life was over this time. Han knew they only survived because the leader fell. If that monster lived, their plan would have ended in slaughter. He began treating their burns with healing potions. Take a sip and apply the rest to your wounds, he instructed. 1 bottle each, so do not waste it. Jenna winced at the bitter taste while Han kept a watchful eye. The northern bridge is a war zone, the outer defenses hold, but the team is barely clinging on. This is only the beginning. Goblins swarm the horizon. Han sneers, they really won't let us rest. 19 elites wait across the river. Han orders battle stations. Suddenly, a massive shadow looms over them. Aaron trembles as the earth shakes. Han's eyes sharpen. It seems they brought a real heavyweight this time. An unholy alliance. The goblins brought level 23 orcs. These titans are built like mountains of meat. The giants approach. Han draws his blade with icy calm. Yonka, firewall. Aaron, protect her at all cost. Yonka's voice wavers in fear. Goblins are fine, but that monster? My flames won't even tickle that thing. The ground shakes as they charge. Stop talking and move. Han roars. Leave that big pig to me. The orc strikes first. A massive hammer descends like a falling star. Han barely dives out of the way. One hit means certain death. The sheer power is suffocating. Han dances on the edge of a blade.